Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition. This is Tuesday, August the 19th, 2025. Great day to be alive. We want to send our condolences to those who lost loved ones, family members. To my surprise, yesterday, I got an information that the chief, Tomalin George, lost an aunt. On behalf of the management team and crew here, we want to send our condolences to the Georges. Big family indeed. Chief Tomalin George, we want to extend our condolences to you and the family. It is very, very difficult at these times to lose a loved one. We want to also send our condolences to our sister station, Focus on Liberia, CEO Dennis John. He lost his brother 2 days ago. There's death everywhere. Obviously, if you are a Christian or man or woman of faith, you definitely have to believe that tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Live your life accordingly. Prepare yourself. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. It's not promised to anyone. Again, if you belong to the Liberian Stingy Man's Association, you have no room on our platform. Everybody I've come in contact with, nobody wants to admit that they belong to the Liberia Stingy Man's Association. That's on the human side. After you have worked Monday and Tuesday, you're on your way home, relax a little bit. Put on your cap of a little humor. Laugh. You know, someone told me, I guess the scientist says, you damage more muscles frowning your face than you do laughing. So laughter is good for the soul. So if you belong to the Stingy Man Association and you think I've been smearing or damaging your reputation, then come and take us on. If you beat us in a debate, maybe you may have some membership to sign up. As I was reflecting this morning, I thought to myself, do we lie? Does our religion or our religious faith give us a room to lie and get away with it? Have you gone to a hospital to visit a mother who had just given birth? And you look at that baby and you say, oh, that baby is so beautiful. And you know hell well that that child is ugly. So religiously, are we giving a little rope leeway to lie? Is that a convenient lie? Such thing as a convenient lie. Can you actually look at a baby and say, oh, the baby is ugly? Or you just lie and say, oh, the baby is so cute. Or have you looked at your friend when she wears that dress? And and you know the dress look ugly on her. And you say, wow, you wear it well. Or your friend, as a male, wears a suit that looks terrible on him. Maybe it's too tight, his stomach's sticking out. And you look at it and say, wow, nice suit. Why do we get away with these things? If we are religious people and the good book tells us not to lie, do we have convenient lies, acceptable lies? Can you look at me and tell me, hey man, whoever cut your hair needs to refund your money? But you walk right into that hospital and you look at this mother and you look at this baby and you know the baby doesn't look good. But you say, the baby is so cute. Is there something ethical? Are we bound by ethics to say something good when it is convenient? Why do we do that anyway? In some culture, in the human realm, we say, or face only a mother could love. You know, when they say that, you know what it means. But we go in there and we tell the mother, the baby and mother are doing well. The baby is a cute, bouncing, beautiful, cute, cuddler baby. And you know hell well that is not true. That's not really what you wanted to say. So let's fix electronics in here. Character matters. Should we be blunt and say, listen, that baby is ugly? Or should I tell you, your dress is too tight? Or you have this butt and gut? Or should I tell my homeboy, you are wearing an ugly suit? Or your haircut is terrible? Go back to the Bible, let him give you back, let him refund your money. Those will be your fun facts of the day. Those are questions that we have to ponder when the guys come on. We'll talk about it a little bit, break the chain, laugh a little bit, and then go into our serious issues. Have you seen a girl when you were in middle school, when you begin to have a crush on a girl, and your buddy also had a crush on the girl, and somebody else, she was the most pretty girl, or the newest girl that moved in the neighborhood, and everybody wants to take her out? Before I go to serious news, I'll go to the Liberia investigator. It says the Unity Party signal possible 2029 alliance with Musa Ability CMC. Is Musa turning our Liberian politics on its head? This is today. It's at Painesville, August 19th, 2025. The ruling Unity Party, UP, says it will maintain its current political alliances while exploring new collaboration ahead of 2029 elections, including with a newly formed Citizens Movement for Change, led by Nima County Representative Musa Ability. Unity Party Chairman Luther Tapper, speaking on state radio, said alliances were crucial and critical to UP rise to power in 2023 and will remain central to its strategy moving forward. He encouraged CMC and other potential partners to strengthen their organizational structure to be ready for meaningful collaboration come 2029. We will discuss that. This is a new girl in town. I told you about CMC. People were taking it for a joke. And here we are. There's a caveat though. Organizations that want to partner to be part of the leading coalition should build their own structures. Build your structure. You need to build institutions. We need to build institutions. At least that is the caveat. That is one of the requirements, the conditions for future seat at the table. We are having some competing front page papers in Liberia, articles, and news. The Liberian investigator said breaking sheriff sealed NDC headquarters over $171,000 debt. That's the Liberian investigator. And then on the front page of Front Page Africa, it says here, commercial court ordered seizure of NDC assets over US $171,000 debt. I'll read just a little bit while we wait for our partners to come on. The Liberian investigator LTI says, sheriffs from the commercial court on Tuesday locked the main entrance of the National Elections Commission, NEC, in Monrovia after the electoral body failed to pay a court-ordered debt of more than $171,000 owed to M-Touch Print Media Incorporated. The writ of execution issued August the 12th and signed by Associate Justice Chen A. Pega, Associate Judge Chen A. Pega, directed sheriff to seize and sell NEC assets until the debt of 171,105 is settled. If no sufficient assets are found, the order further instructs sheriff to bring the commissioner's executive chairperson, Mrs. Deborah Brown Lasana, and other commissioners before the court. The debt stems from a long-standing contractual dispute in which M-Touch Prints Media sued the NDC for unpaid services on June the 3rd. The commercial court ruled in favor of the company, instructing the commission to settle the arrears. When NEC failed to comply, the court moved to enforce the ruling. That's the take by the Liberian investigator. Now let's see what Front Page Africa says about the same story. The commercial court at the Temple of Justice are ordered the seizure and sale of properties belonging to the National Elections Commission in a bid to certify a judgment debt of 171,105 owed to M-Touch Prints and Media. The order contained in the writ of execution issued on the signature of Associate Judge Chen A. Pega and Clerk J. Amos F. Boa, mandates acting sheriff Emmanuel Morris to move against the assets of the elections body, represented by 8th chairperson Mrs. Deborah Brown Lasana, on the board of commissioners. The reg directs the sheriff to seize and expose for sale the land, goods, and chattel of NEC to raise the money owed. If movable assets cannot be covered the amount, the court ordered the seizure of NEC real properties. Those are the two competing headlines from the different newspapers. Also trending on both papers, on the front pages of both papers, the Liberian investigator states, Supreme Court suspends Judge Peabody for ethics violations. That's on the front page of the Liberia Investigator. We go to the Liberian Daily Observer, also carrying this. Supreme Court suspend top judge for ethical breach. And it reads, TLI, the Liberia investigator here says, the Supreme Court has suspended civil law court resident Judge Kennedy Peabody for 6 months without pay, fined him $2,115.40, and ordered him to appear for a public reprimand, citing multiple violations of judicial ethics. In a unanimous ruling, the High Court adopted the Judicial Inquiry Commission's finding that Peabody breached Judicial Canon 12, 28, and 35, which prohibits judges from accepting gifts or favor from parties with interest before the court and from engaging in activities that could undermine judicial impartiality. The case stemmed from a complaint filed by Prince Kenneth, who accused Peabody of attempting to seize control of 29 lots of land near RIA Highway belonging to the Lebanese businessman Bassam Jahari. Kenneth alleged that Peabody, while serving as a magistrate at the Pennsylvania Ministerial Court, ruled in Jahari's favor in a land dispute and later received half of the disputed property, 14.5 lots, as a gift. Kenneth claimed he was appointed by Jahari to oversee the property on behalf of the Momentum Engineering Group Incorporated, but that Peabody used threat and judicial influence to claim their land. Wow. This is the take of the Liberia Investigator. And the Daily Observer picked it up too. And their writer, Abednego Davis, today wrote, the Supreme Court has suspended the resident judge of the Civil Court, Law Court, Kenneth Peabody, for breaching his professional code of ethics. The High Court noted in a communication last week that a renowned judge was in violation of judicial code of conduct. He has been suspended for 6 months without pay. That's the Daily Observer, reported by Abednego Davis. There's a lot going on in Liberia. Lots of news. And we will bring it to you exactly as they appear across the different headlines. Another one trending, front page Africa. University of Liberia report massive failure in 2025 placement exams. The administration of the University of Liberia, LU, has announced massive failure in the institution's July 2025 entrance and placement examinations. According to UL, out of 13,130 registered candidates, 9,299, 74.34% failed, while only 2,807, 28.32% passed. A total of 614 candidates, 4.68%, were absent. 410, 3.28%, were disqualified for reasons including incorrect shading of answer sheets. The report further shows that more female candidates passed the examination compared to male. 1,415 female, 50.41%, were successful against 1,392 males, 49.59%. At the David A. Stotts Sanjay Technical and Vocational College in Grand Cape Mountain, counted 221 candidates registered. Of that number, 33, 14% were absent, while 188.85% sat the exam. Among them, 25 candidates, 13.30 passed. 85, 45.21 failed. 74 were required to rewrite, and 4 were disqualified for incorrect shading. The University of Liberia President, Dr. Leila Myean, described the outcome as both a challenge and an opportunity. She noted that the university witnessed an impressive increase in application, which she said reflects the institution's growing reputation. At least she sees some light. Beside the massive failure, she says, at least more people are applying to the university, means the university is great. Liberia. Front page Africa carried this one, written by Anthony Stevens. The economy deeply hit by aid cuts. As jobs are lost and local businesses see huge drop in income. Liberia's economy is badly hit by aid cuts. In summary, at least 600 well-paid aid jobs disappeared amid the cuts. Economists say many more drivers, security, and housekeeper jobs will be gone. Many small businesses see cuts in huge numbers. That is on the front of the state of the economy. The Liberian Observer WISE result release of meager 1.59% achieved higher marks. But English math pass rate at 85.79%. This is Peter Bayo Bishop today wrote. Peter Bayo Bishop. The provisional results of the West African Senior Scholar Certificate Examination WISE have been announced, revealing the latest statistics. From the 51,822 candidates who took the exam, only 822 candidates, which accounts for 1.59%, achieved credits or higher in at least 5 subjects, including both English, math. Unlike the 2024 provisional result, the public was not provided with data on candidates who attained such passes last year. In total, 53,001 students from 1,048 accredited secondary schools across Liberia registered for the important exam, with 51,822 actually writing it. It is worth noting that candidates from schools in Guinea, where Liberia curriculum is followed, also participated, indicating the exam reached beyond Liberia's borders. At a press briefing held in Monrovia on Friday, August the 15th, Dr. Dale Boto, the head of the Liberia National Office of West African Examination Council, WIED, announced that the council has withheld the results of 1,944 candidates. This figure accounts for 3.75% of all examinees and is due to instances of dishonest conduct during the examination. They were cheating. That's why they did. They didn't want to say it. They want to be politically correct. Let me welcome Dr. Peabody. How you doing, Chief?
Oh, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Sylvester here.
Welcome, Chief Sylvester Pewee. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good evening to you.
Good. We want to say welcome to our folks that are listening, tuning in via Care Radio. We want to welcome you. We want to welcome 96.1 Truth FM and Reality TV. The CEO himself is here. Dr. Peabody is in the house. You know, that's serious business here. Yesterday, he denied categorically he is not member of the Stingy Man Association. Honorable Pewee was kicked out of the organization because he spent too much money. So he was expelled. He no longer member of the organization. So, gentlemen, here we are. Let me start with, let's kind of break the ice here. Honorable Dr. Peabody, before we go into politics and the news, is there anywhere in the Bible where we are given a leeway to at least lie when it's convenient? Honorable Pewee, in diplomacy, just keep thinking why the doctor is thinking here. Think whether in diplomacy we are given a leeway to maybe in diplomacy we won't say lie, maybe bend the truth. When you go to a hospital and you see a woman have a baby and you walk in and you know the baby ugly, oh, what a beautiful bouncing baby. Your husband wear this suit, you know this suit is ugly, it's tight on here, his stomach sticking out, his butt sticking out. You tell him, my man, go buy a bigger size suit to cover your behind. You say, man, nice color suit.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Peabody, is that a convenient lie you wear in the hospital? You know the baby is very ugly. You say, man, that's beautiful bouncing baby boy. Cute little thing.
But before Peabody can come in, you just stated just now that and that's the only reason why we have diplomacy. Diplomacy can substitute these things, right? So you be diplomatic and kind.
Why would you say to that ugly baby or the mother of that ugly baby? What would you say?
I would say to the number one, as a Christian, there's no ugly human being.
Okay.
From my perspective, right? So I'll be kind enough to learn from my Christian doctrine coming out as a young boy.
Right.
And taught in Sunday school that every human being is kind. Every human being is beautiful. It's beautiful soul. So that with that inclination, I'm going to that first the baby mother. I say, oh, thank you for this beautiful baby.
That's right.
Yeah, the baby is so adorable.
That's right.
Now, so that is the kindness of humankind, and that's the teaching of the Bible. Okay. But again, when you realistically or philosophically, you're saying this, let's agree that from the other side, those that want to be mean, even those that want to be from that line, they will go and say, "Oh, the baby is beautiful, thank you," all of thing. But we have different kind of a human creature on this earth. We have some human creature that can be very bold.
Right.
See him, but they're so, and I've seen that practically in Liberia, in other parts, they can say, "Oh no, in the West, no." I've seen it in Liberia. Somebody can't see him, but they other baby. I see other baby. Now you resemble you. Yes, you see it. You make it bold. He said, "They will be not your husband." You know, so.
My man, don't make me cry.
And then before they get go, because they go with the gossip, the issue with the gossip part will go with it, right? But they will come and say, and the other baby, yeah, you know. So.
That could be about it. We have all told this lie because they have some baby. You walk in our place, this child ready to say, look good.
Yeah.
Somebody did that about it, baby.
You think in your heart. You think in your heart. You just think in your heart. You know,
Yes.
got something. You got something in your heart, but then you try to pretend.
Right.
You know. Then you sitting there when you leave, you say, if I had a baby brother and mom. The five black or something, the mom, you know, something like that.
No, the mom bread, the dark bread, but the baby black.
Yeah.
We have it.
Yeah, we have it. They say, but it may not look like my mom, it may not look like the pop, but maybe it down the line, look at the uncle, one of the uncle. Then somebody say, you know, I'm saying this because I think 2 elections ago, people were calling me and saying, we wanted to vote for your man. We want to vote for Charles Brunkin, but Charles Brunkin, 5% too ugly. We can't vote for him.
Who would have 5%?
I won't call anybody. I'm just telling you.
No, Charles Brunkin, first vice president. I remember with 2005. I think was this Beslow? Oh, Beslow who? What is the last vice president?
No, the vice president. They say he's from Nimba.
Oh.
The guy say I can't vote.
The Harrison Conway.
Say I can't. Say Jerome, I can't vote for your pastor. Make his vice president too ugly. But this, I mean, people do these things. At least they were upfront to say it. They say, listen, we can't vote for this guy. This man vice president ugly. But I kept telling them, look at the man's performance. Look at what he can do, what he brings to the table.
Harrison Conway was his 5%.
Look at the man's performance. Don't look at his physical body. But then he said, when these two guys appeared, the first thing you see is his face. So, Dr. Peabody, are they right to say, you know, I'm gonna withhold my vote because listen, man, this guy doesn't. I thought he was just not photogenic. But he's a beautiful guy.
But you see, we don't make him a big, and then sometimes it's like that. It's like that. People kind of characterize you in a way, even on job interview. Mm-hmm. People you go there, the man just look at you. You may be good, you may know the work, but he can just stereotype you. Say, man, he doesn't look good. So,
yes,
you know,
I think that's nonsense.
Yeah, complete nonsense.
Yeah, but it's a reality. We got to deal with it. It happens.
Yeah.
I had a lady that came there for an interview. Her resume looks good. She wanted to be a bus driver. She had driven bus for a while. She got her certification and everything else. But when she walked through the door, I knew that this woman couldn't do the job that we wanted. Because in case of emergency, this woman should be the first line of defense. Stop the bus when there's a fire, get the kids out of the bus, do all of this stuff. But the lady could hardly walk. Yes, she was morbidly obese. Wow. Despite her qualification. So the question is, if I hire this woman and something happens where instead of being a help to the student, then she become a liability for us. We can get sued because we put the children in harm's way. So, Pewee, you see the dichotomy there.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is real. We can't sweep it under the rug. Personalities, appearance.
It's man's natural tendency, you know.
Yes, and then when the legal aspect of it getting there, where you can get sued because you knew that this woman could not perform the job correctly to save lives, and you hire her because either of affirmative action or because she's a family member of a friend or somebody recommended her. So she had a great resume. She had worked for the school district. The record highly recommended her. But if you want her to work for me, why you got rid of her and you still have opening in your place, you advertising, you hiring bus driver, but you recommended her to me. What is that?
Right.
So this is what we are talking about. But yes, let's get back to our politics. We know that there's this convenient lie. We can walk into the hospital and say, you know, this baby is beautiful, but we know the baby is not beautiful. You know, my suit is too tight on me. Instead of telling me to go buy one size up, I go buy the athletic fit. You know, the athletic fit, the slim fit, the one that good for young men and women just, playing basketball. But here we are. Let's start with the NDC. Honorable Peabody, I don't know what to make of this. The NDC being either foreclosed on. This is just baffling. They just announced that Tomalin gave an excess $4 million. And then when Garguah came in, they're going to pass election the by-election, he pumping an additional $4 million. And these people are in arrears. They owe their printing and all of these things. They can't pay their debt. They just pay salaries. Dr. Peabody, what you make of this? This is
Mr. Gayman. One thing when it comes to Liberian, that is so irresponsible though, from the leadership. That's very irresponsible. Today I watched our reporter Samson ask that lady if she was not aware or have she received any letter from the court and all of that. She didn't know. You are the head of the commission. So what do? You don't have a system where a check and balance when mail coming in or your organization structure, or you talking to people and they tell you, hey, this is the bill and you authorizing. You want to tell me all the money those people get to the National Election Commission? I think heads need to roll. In my opinion, heads need to roll. Because that's a disgrace on the country. The recklessness. Somebody is very much irresponsible in performing the duty.
Yeah, but Dr. Peabody, come on, let's go to the point. Be honest. Who has your role in this?
I think they had she wrote.
Go.
The chairman.
That's correct.
Director Brown Lasana, I think she needs to go.
Of course.
She needs to go because they mismanaged funds in that place and they had to lock the door on you. And you are the director. You need to get out. That's a disgrace.
Honorable Pewee.
But by the way, we are on Truth FM and KFM. KFM just came on, so we'll let the welcome our viewer for.
Good. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are tuning in from Care Radio, 95.5 FM in Liberia, welcome. Samson Masere, we saw you. You were not wearing masks to hide your face. You were out there. You were locking the people's door. You heard in the U.S. Human Rights Report, that's the reason they're not kind to your news people. You carry your microphone, you carry your phone, you taking pictures, making sure they lock the gate. The cheerleader was looking at you doing that. Welcome, Samson. You are muted.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Gayman, and let me say hi to Peabody and Mr. Sylvester Pewee. It's good to be back here after a very, very long week. So today was a very busy day for us, and also an embarrassing day for the country. The National Election Commission had a very terrible issue today where they had a long-standing debt of $178,000 to the point that they could not pay for a vendor that they could not pay almost 2 years. The vendor have to take the issue to court, and the court passed a verdict that the vendor have the right now to sell the property of National Election Commission. Shocking it, all of the vehicles that were parked in the compound of the National Election Commission have been seized. None of the vehicle will be allowed to leave the premises until it can be proven that those vehicles does not belong to the government. Once it belongs to the National Election Commission, that vehicle will be seized to run up to the long-standing debt that is currently outstanding with the National Election Commission. And the frustrating thing is the commission David Lasara said to us today through an interview, she verified that she's not aware of any debt. In fact, she want to consult her legal team before she could verify what actually happened. And commissioners of the National Election Commission today had to work and take tests to leave from the premises of the National Election Commission today.
Wow.
Honorable Pewee.
Yes.
As an administrator, it is impossible to believe that your entity will be taken to court for 2 years and you say you don't know, because the most important thing in administration here are two things: account payable and account receivable. All your bills, your rent, your electricity, people you owe, those are the first thing that go out. Then payroll. That's how it works. For the CEO that signs checks, that signs contracts saying that she's not aware that she owed $171,000 to a printer.
78, not 71, 78,000.
178,000. That's
Okay.
that's a whooping sum of money.
Okay.
It is not an amount that we just see as a walk in the park amount or something. It's just a very huge amount, and particularly owing that to a local Liberian-owned business that there's some difficult time with Liberian businesses. It's a very terrible information. It's not a good thing for them to do. This part of not even trying to enhance or promote the very liberalization policy we all been projecting time to time. Because if you were to give contract to local contractors, Liberian contractors that are struggling to make ends meet, and then you don't want to pay them, and you expect them to pay their own employee. How do you expect those employees, the entity, to pay their employees? And then how do you also expect their employees to take care of their family? They have to pay school fees. School is about to open, and all those things, and the operational activities of the business. So this is it's very counterproductive from the sense of that. Now I will come back to wherein the commissioner of the chair of the commissioners, the chair of the board of commissioners, the Editor Brown Lasana have soft statement. Now the election commission is structured in a way that she just had the most equal. She's the chair of all of the commissioner, but there's a structure there. The organigram of the election commission is that very elaborate and is structured very well. We do have the chair of the commissioners. He will have to take some senior decision there, but they do take votes in many cases, if you will. But the day-to-day running of the neck is basically not executed by the chair of the board of commissioners, and that's where I was coming here. I'm not coming here of defense, but I'm coming to say. Then if there will have to be a hair rolling, then that will have to be the case. We do have the executive director of the election commission, and the executive director is classed with the responsibility to run the day-to-day activities of the institution and show that everything is running very well in terms of giving contracts and doing this. Though the board of commissioners will have to endorse those things before they are issued, but the day-to-day handling of that institution is rested on within the authority of the executive director of the National Election Commission. So there is my problem. Why would the Election Commission own that huge amount of money, $178,000? And recent reports indicated clearly that the Election Commission have not been struggling for funding, if you will. The former finance minister stated openly that he gave them money that they didn't even need, right? He gave them additional $4 million, additional $4 million at the time, according to what he stated. And we also received information that the recent immediate past two by-elections, there were money for those by-elections. So how come now that there's this level of huge amount of money being owned to a local Liberian business that will even move to empower our local Liberians and other things? So this is a serious problem in terms of is this due to malfeasance? If it is due to malfeasance, then it is malfeasance or misfeasance. So we do have to come quickly and do some immediate quality review here to see to do some validation as to if those quality review mechanisms were all put into place appropriately to ensure that the election commission performed her tasks. But it is unfortunate that the court, and for the court to reach to this junction, Gayman, you know the rest of that. The courts will, and I know our system is not an isolated issue. We do follow those international benchmark in terms of our jurisprudence, if you will. The court will not just move to come and seize the property. What the court will do, the court will send one. There will be ruling informing you to come true to your commitments. For instance, if you own certain money to Gayman, the court will ask Pewee, you have to pay Gayman. And then if you are not coming through with that, the court will remind you again, Gayman, you have this time to pay Pewee, you have this time to pay Gayman. I would not have to move to the court. I say, Your Honor, I want you to give me some time. The amount you want me to pay Gayman, I don't have said amount. So what I want you to do, Your Honor, is I want to do some stipulations here. I can pay within this time, this time, this time, and the court will grant that on the basis of a conference discussion between the two the parties, all of the litigants involved into the matters, and then there will be some finalization to this issue. I know the court may have gone through that, but they may pay lip service to the court instructions. And Liberia is not a country that will respect the rule of law. Again, it will boils down to also. We don't respect the rule of law. Government institution. You see, the court is moving to close down that. We don't respect the rule of law. Even the government itself, when the court rules on us from a local citizen challenging certain government institution, when the court rules say you're paid the man his benefit, the court won't pay that. I'm a victim of certain circumstances, of certain condition, if you will. When the former disgraced and incompetent Auditor General Robert Kehleboe did that nonsense he did to us at the time. Almost 42 persons we got illegally dismissed from the GSC. We went to court. We won the case. But again, time to time, I mean, it is a difficult thing in the country. I hope we'll change our mindset as to the way we engage the court. The court, we have to respect the court because it's the beginning of recognizing the rule of law in the country. So that's where we are now coming again. The reason is that it's gross incompetence. Here we have to rule it is. It's a total embarrassment. She said she want to consult what kind of lawyer. Did you consult a lawyer before you took the man money to get his services and all those things? I thought Madam David Ethel Brown Lasana would have come up quickly, immediately, in a more expeditious manner to say, hey, what we're going to do, we're going to engage the executive director to find out what is the status of this payment. And then we would immediately engage the payment process to ask the court to give us stipulation time to pay this money. I thought that's what I said. Now, quickly, I will end right here. It would have been very prudent on her behalf for they will call for the sake of plausible deniability. She should have at least used that to hit back. I mean, ship the whole thing to the executive director. Say, sorry, we'll take this issue and move on. Executive director didn't do his due diligence. He didn't act well. So is this tantamount to malfeasance or misfeasance? We will take the appropriate action and pay the money. But to say you want a lawyer when the court have already ruled that, that's a sheer hypocrisy and incompetence.
Okay, now let me. You should have done it, but let me take it for this end. Nora Hoax is saying this could be a scam when the government wanted to get rid of her all along, and they're looking for an opportune time because the speed at which they did this. And she thinks that this could be another nail in her coffin. They wanted to get rid of her anyway, so this could be one of those things.
No, but yes, also I respectfully respect Nora's positions. She's one of those person follow us that brings some very important thing to the discourse. But Nora, yes, what I disagree with that a little bit. Yes, what I would disagree. This went to the court. It's not under the government. It's been pending before. It went through litigation. They went through an entire litigation process here, and the court ruled. This is an existing business institution that we know in Liberia. They render some printing services to the Election Commission. The Election Commission is in the business of hiring both local printers and international printers. If they're going international, by international, regionally, it's international still. They do most of the businesses in Accra, Ghana, right? But they will have to do some businesses. We've been pushing, and our one person I can recall the New Progressive Movement that we try again about to move and keep more people strong. We've been pushing that, hey, these kind of a contracts or most of these engagements engage Liberian businesses so that will allow the money to flow within the local economy. What it does is that it improve the business environment and also give Liberian the teeth to bite economically. So Nora, so yes, that's the reason why we're principally in this line disagree with you, because this being around, they took the service of the people, they get them on the people went to court even before the whole thing could start about her removal and other things. So they may want to remove her. I understand that, and that's something that I spoke against. But this whole line of the way they took the service from the Liberian group and they didn't pay, they've been dragging on for some time. I thought probably maybe if she didn't know of it, then the executive director that run the day-to-day activities of the institution didn't inform them about this. But yes, there's a known fact that they hired the service of this institution and they're being court. This court system didn't start this yet. No, unfortunately, even before this issue about suspension and reinstatement by the president could occur, it started far before then.
Okay. Dr. Peabody, I just find it hard for this case to have reached the level of the Supreme Court. That means the lower courts may have gotten involved. Rates may have been served. You name it. All the forms will have been forwarded to for the CEO to say that you got sued by the lower courts and decisions were made by the lower court, and you still say you didn't know anything about it, you have not heard about it. I never see anything like that.
You know, I want to piggyback to your when you came on what you were saying, how whether there's anything like lying in the Bible or where people can lie. People a bold-faced lie. It was a bold-faced lie that she was lying. You will see that she was embarrassed. These are the kind of leader that they take nothing serious. You know, you are chairman for a whole country election commission. Don't blame the government. The government have been supporting them. They supported them all through, giving them a lot of money, even from President Weah days to President Bouakai. They have been supporting them. And you standing up there and you don't even know, then how can we trust you to even run a country election if you can't even, you don't even know what goes on there? How can you be trusted? Then it's time to even go back to the last election if she knew what was going on. Because this woman stood there lying. Nobody know what kind of lie she pulled out even during the last election. Is this the kind of person you want to trust with your National Election Commission? That don't know they're going to evict them, is not aware that she received letter even after she had a confrontation, letter from the court and they had hearing and all the things, and you coming on and say you don't know on the whole world watching you. The whole country election commission office was closed. They should be evicting them. People should buy it. Why not we go and buy it right now?
Yeah, man.
To get that building.
Let's get to that before CDC get to that. Go ahead.
Again, quickly to respond to Nora Hawk issue. Our guys from the closing argument journalists just updated some information here. Okay. This case, Madam Hawk, this case started since 2022. Now, the rate say in the Commercial Court of Liberia, Temple of Justice, sitting in its August term, AD 2022.
Way back.
It says that the management of MTOS Print Media Incorporated, represented by Mr. Vanin Famune of the city of Monrovia, Liberia, plaintiff versus the National Election Commission, NEC, represented by Mrs. Divietta Brown Lasana. See, and Madam Ho, you see, here's the problem. The court document is out since 2022. There's a woman that is blatantly refuting the fact here that she doesn't have no clue whatsoever. There's a disgrace to come out and you know this case being pending in court since 2022 from the August term of court. And then you come out and say that this is not, and it is unfortunate. So the fact that she would say this and it being in the depth court of Liberia, and that's what I was saying before even this came out. I told you, right? I said this may have it started. It was because the court system is not that magical. The court system is not instantaneous, right? It will have to take time. And that's what we'll always say to you. Lawyers will tell you. When lawyers engaging with you, they will tell you. When your lawyer always tell you, say, hey, litigation is expensive and time consuming. So do you intend to go this, or we should call a conference to have a settlement outside of court? Because litigations sometimes can get very brutal and time consuming, and resources is deeply, everything is involved. So Divietta Lasana is saying this now. I think it's unfortunate, man. That's a Liberian business, Mr. Fofana. This is a guy that I know. He's been trying to do his best to do a business in the country. You cannot do this to him. And if I was in his shoe, the fact that the court have ruled, I would take most of the vehicle and auction them.
Or start driving it around.
Yeah, I'll just put on the option, quick option, and say, 3 days option, and come. And I'm waiting to bid for
last time she was arrested, went to stand for bond.
So it's quite unfortunate that this will happen. And I would think the best way to handle this, to mitigate this now, is to just call the lawyer of this guy for other court settlement. Say, okay, we will do It's the election commission. We can do 3 tranches of payment. It's 178,000. You do 3. You do the 78,000 first, and then then second payment you do 50,000. The other payment you do 50,000, and then you done with this payment issue. You have to pay this guy. And imagine this guy, you dragging the man through litigation. The man will have to pay some tunings, right? So all those things, who's going to pay for the lawyers and all those things? So it's quite unfortunate. It's a shame, and it's unacceptable. And we have to encourage, and that's part of the system of our advocacy. We have to go that direction to push that people that will engage into this kind of unscrupulous attitude and unacceptable situation in our country that are meant to keep our people in a destitute situation. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Dr. Peabody, can you flag Nora hoax, scam, fake media? So we are the scam. No, not that one. The one before.
But how is that Nora who got interest?
There you go. Nora,
you related. When people related to these people, that we how they can block. The fact is,
Pewee, Nora said we are scammers, we are fake media.
Again, and that's what I said. For me, I respect everybody's view, and I respect her view, but I beg to differ. We're not scam, and we're never going to be, and I don't understand, but probably, again, we have to take her back to understand what the rate says. The rate is very emphatic, the rate is open. So these are things that happened before, and it been happening. And again, I don't know if Laura understand our jurisprudence or international jurisprudence. Even if she's based whatsoever she based in the war, she would agree with me that the court system is not instantaneous. It's a process that will start with going to court. The judge will cite both parties via the lawyers, and there will be a conference discussion, and they're going to the conference. If you believe that what the man said, because that was a case, versus, that was it, he was the plaintiff, and versus this, if he believes, okay, I want to go to court, and you challenge it, and they went to, eventually the debt court came out and ruled, paid the man his money from 2022. What is scam about this? This news came up. We didn't fabricate this. Well, we didn't invent this story, right? It was maybe that scan court officer then locking again.
And all the front pages of all the newspapers.
All the newspapers. That's a big news.
They got all the court papers and everything else.
Nora,
you know the reason why that's a big news in the country? That is the election body. That's one of the biggest transparency body we have in the country. Because election is voted on transparency. If you can hire printers, local printing press, Liberian businesses, you don't want to pay them, and you got all of the money. So now they need to get account of those monies that they receive. Why come the former finance minister said he gave you 4 million surplus, and then you stay owing? And trust me, after this case, you're going to hear more other cases coming up that they owe more money. Because you got some people in the system.
The money is being given them.
They will eat the money. They say, okay, the Liberian people will suppress people. Will they cry, will not pay their money.
How responsible can anybody be that till your own place you stay every day, you go to work, the place you're living, you can't pay the bill for the place you're living? Then we'll trust you to count election result to elect president? That's a shame. And then you lie on top.
But Dr. Peabody.
Yeah, Samson, thank you for updating, bringing the rate. It was important for the CFA.
Dr. Peabody, it was the former Speaker of the House of the United States, Tim O'Neill, who says everybody love their own crooks. Nora is saying that's her sister from Kepamas. They know each other. So you see.
I see. I told you. Nora got special interest in that lady. You know, be related to the fight and everybody for it.
Honorable Pewee, this was I think in the early 90s before his death. Tim O'Neill was in Massachusetts in his district, and the reporter went to him and said, he says the Congress approval rating is 8%, but your approval rating in your district 92%. Then he said, but that tells you everybody likes their own crooks. He said collectively they hate us, but when we go home, they love us.
Yes.
Everybody love their own. So Nora will be out here talking about corruption all day. We're talking about it, but when it comes to her own friend, then she said,
yeah, we got all of them from Kipamos.
Yeah.
They'll go eat the pamboto and
the tabadu.
With tabadu, and put the tabadu.
That's right.
Then they go sit down between Lake Shepherd and the Atlantic Ocean.
And drink the kiju and eat the hot pepper.
Yes.
Go
but on a serious note, because nobody listen to Nora, she'll go hard on other people if the situation is the same in the country, right? And then if Nora want to support her Kipama sister, and then last out the Gizi Ome,
the Basa Ome,
or the Basa Ome, it doesn't add up, right? So we ought to say, okay, it will say it's not good for the Buze man, the Buze man. It should obviously not be good if the Buze man did wrong and he's being lashed out or he's being reprimanded. The same should also go to the global Harper Kipamos Seaside people, right? So that's it. It shouldn't be for the half hours.
That's right.
Those from the seaside should bear the brunt of things also. But on a serious note, on a more serious note now, I think it's about time Nora will have to call her own sister, say, my sister,
before you go any
further. Take care of our country boy. You're going to have a family our country boy, right?
Masare, Samson, we something that was very disturbing. I was watching Samson with my twin girls. They're getting ready to go to school. Yeah, and they saw the compound of the Liberian Elections Commission, the potholes right in the yard itself, and the filth. You see, I mean, it looks like the.
But have you seen the physical bidding before? Have you seen the physical bidding?
Jesus,
it is terrible.
Yes.
Mr. Gayman, that should not be a screen for Liberia. I think McLean Ranald, McLean Ranald was the one who even protested for almost 2 weeks for the National Election Commission outside to be painted. That building has been filtered for over decades. It has not been painted for almost 20 years now. Not
20 years, but
Mr. Pewee, so the thing is, 2 elections going on.
The Fofana time, it was well managed, but since this one took over, it's been terrible. I'm saying this, right? Before the elections, 2023. There was time we were sitting to Morez Plaza. They're up there, want to have some food and drink. Sitting there, you can just see the election. We sit there that day. I noticed the election commission was very terrible, very filthy, and that's a beautiful building.
It is, and on the front. We talk about on the main street.
And imagine the main corridor is cream. If you like cream, try to ready to soak the cream. You see how you will see the fill into it.
The mold all over the place. Masare, I saw the potholes in the yard.
Then what happened to the 4 million surplus that 12 gave them? It's so that we have like this, but they need to clean that building. That's a beautiful building. It's bad. That building should be painted every year. There should be money in the budget to paint that place to make it look attractive.
Maintenance should be it's a line item. Maintenance is a line item in the budget.
Yeah, that part of the sink. I can't hear bidding. Come on, man. Go ahead,
Mr. Gayman and Mr. Pewee. The thing is, we were not even all for showcasing how filthy the bidding is. But I'm hoping that tomorrow I'm going to take that race to get there to show you the actual inside of the building. That's what it's actually part of. It's part of to the point where even at the receptionist desk, is filthy, not painted, not stick. The security police also tell it. I was doing a video, while doing a video, because I noticed that some foreign national were on our live coverage were like, is this Liberia National Election Commission headquarters? So I have to just tweet it and
No, we have
just
to elevate.
up
I
the
said, go
live,
there tomorrow.
because it
Elevate
was
situation.
actually
You post
embarrassing
it.
for our country.
Yeah, and we need
Honestly,
to
it was
elevate it.
embarrassing for our country that
Yeah.
our National Elections Commission, I think in West Africa, that's a serious disgrace. That the headquarters for that decide who becomes president in this country is very, very filthy. From security push straight to receptionist desk up to the commissioner's office. That if I just take camera in that place, you would never have respect for that building. That building is so bad of. I think they need serious renovation and overhauling.
Mr. Honorable Pewee, I know we're gonna go to the next topic, but you remember I think a few years ago, I guess, I think the contractor were protesting, right? They said, I mean, the guys that work during the election time, I think they were either election monitors or all of those folks. They said they have never been paid, and they had to go on strike or protest. How is it possible that a woman who an agency that is well funded will not be able to pay poll watchers, election monitors? I mean, they couldn't pay it before the post had to protest.
You know, and that's a serious problem, and that's the part of the reason why we ought to put into place what I would call leaders of our country. Now we have to appoint people on the bid, and sometimes you only know again, but the election commissions, there are portion of the laws of the election commission that said the chair or member of the board of commissioners can be removed for cost, and part of the cost would be maleficent and non-feasant. I think that should be in the clause there, that one of the way to get them out. And if you cannot, that is, if mismanagement, you got to do something to review it. But when those people are elected because they feel that they are term, um, they believe and again, people will always move to politicize it. If you were to go after them, they say, oh, the government trying to remove them and bring their own people in. But that does not negate the reality that you ought to perform your statutory responsibility, because it is because of that you are appointed to perform. If you cannot perform, you should be out. Now, why should you be heading the election commission and your side of responsibility? And two things I would do if I'm heading the election commission or any institution in government. If the government is not supporting me, I'll come out and have press conference daily to update the public that we are not receiving our statutory support, the support needed by this institution to function adequately and effectively in a more efficient manner. If that is not the case, then if government is paying her side of it to pay the amount that we require to function, then the onus is not on me to adequately perform. If I cannot perform, there's something in the law that I have to bear the consequence of that. So the consequence will be either if I'm incompetent, I will either leave. So there's been some huge level of incompetence. But here's what I will say to you. I know some of the commissioners personally. I may not have that direct relationship with her, but I do know her from the distance and all of things. But I can remember even when I know about three other commissioners personally. But here's what I know, Gayman. There's serious internal wrangling between she and the rest of the commissioners. She does not regard them, and there where the problem is. So there's serious problem. You remember there was a time to talk about someone she was giving contract or relative, right? Personal contract or relative and other thing in the tune of thousands of dollars, about 300 or so thousand, and that thing people just brush it off. So she and most of the commissioners, my information is that they are not on one accord. So she always want to rule out things and just take this. She deployed the kind of a dictatorial tendency that she's the only voice there. So that's the reason why you see the neck, the way the neck is. The neck have never been in step of makeshift phase for a very long time. But under her reign, the neck being in a very dilapidated condition, very terrible conditions, both the interior and the exterior aspect of the building. So this is not a good sign for us. Beyond the interior and exterior part of the building, there is this problem about adequately and effectively recruiting election observer, not election observers, so around I want to call pool elections officers, if you will, those that will be hired, be on a contractor basis to perform all those things, photo registration, photo educations, and all those things, election, all those issues. They've been having problem, and that's why you saw the group of them protesting the last time on not being paid on time or inadequate pay and all those things. So we need and I think her term expired, that their term expired early next year, sometime next year. Their term expire, and then this president, I don't know, next year or sometime, but very soon. And then this president would now come out to appoint the new board of commissioners moving on. But I thought we ought to allow the commissioners to play their role and then push the executive director position. That way I would push for the executive director to be more or less appointed by the president. They create that and make that position autonomous and give the executive director the power now to effectively run that building. That would be a motive, but the executive director is also answerable to the chair of the board of commissioners and the commissioners, but the chair now to cease of everything, and she's more or less very kind of a domineering character. So that kind of a domineering thing that she brought into the NEC just pushed the NEC to be very effective in terms of, and everything there just messy.
I remember one time she was indicted, I guess, for giving huge contract to her brother. You remember the COVID-19?
Yeah.
Those I think she said were automated temperature check and all that stuff.
Yeah.
A huge sum of money she gave that contract to her brother, so brought her reputation into question there for somebody who is running an integrity organization.
Yeah, serious
to do such. But let's move on to I want to send a shout out to Kwame Clements. Kwame Clements, we have been everyone have been talking about to reform Liberia judicial system. We needed another law school because the Liberian judicial system seems to be like everybody graduated from the same law school and they are all loyal to each other. So what Kwame Clement and George Anthony Balazer, what they did was they decided to form a new law school, and it's called Liberia School of Law. And I was on the focus on Liberia, and he came, established a law school, and he was looking for investors. And he wrote the proposal that, listen, for our judicial system to begin the process of being real judicial, we needed some diversity and a dichotomy in the thinking, in the thought process, by establishing a new law school. And he made a case that in these United States and Western countries, lawyers just don't go to court to represent their clients and themselves, but they represent the institution from which they graduated. For instance, if a lawyer is going to court and knows that his opposition, he's from Yale and the opposition is from Duke, he knows he's not only representing his client, but his institution. Now it is Duke versus Yale, or University of Florida versus University of Kansas. So they take it seriously. But in Liberia, it has never been that way. It has been University of Liberia versus University of Liberia. And they would call each other senior man. Like if you met Vani Sherman, you would bow to him, senior man. So there is no competition. So he came out and he said, we are going to change that by forming a new law school, which he did. So this week, the new Liberia School of Law student went to ECOWAS, to the moot court, and won a prestigious award. And I will read it real quick here. It said, in a stunning display of legal skills and confidence, 2 first-year students from the Liberia School of Law, LSL, have put the country's fledgling institution on the map by capturing the top prize at the maiden ECOWAS Moot Court competition in Abuja. It's a piece, the name Peace Kasu and Abigail Dopoh, coached by Professor Gerard Yakula. Gerard D. Yakula represented Liberia in the August 13 through the 16 contest and walked away as champions alongside teammates from Cote d'Ivoire, the Felix Houphouët-Boigny University Law School. The victory marked the historic milestone of the Liberia School of Law, which only opened its doors in November 2023, and is still less than a year old. Let's say 2024, excuse me. Chief, if this is working out as is going, we are in for a great, pleasant surprise here, Honorable Pewee. Let me welcome Honorable Victor Nagbe, Mr. Seaton, and Kamara. You guys, welcome. Go
hey
ahead.
guys, how are you? It's good to be back with you. Greetings from my end, and welcome on set as well, my brothers. Welcome our audience. Thanks for hanging with us. As always, please do share the show and invite a friend to join you. Let's have a good time.
Mr. Seaton, welcome.
For welcoming on the show. It's a pleasure to be back again. Well, let me just speak it back on what my good friend Mr. Nagbe just stated. If you are following me, please share the show so that a lot of people can watch what we are discussing, because obviously we are discussing trending issues affecting our country. So again, I'm happy to be here, and greetings to all of you.
Thank you. Mr. Seleke Kromah from the nation, Kigali, Rwanda.
You are muted.
What's up, as I was saying?
No, I want to say your Puma boss man coming on your way, coming over there.
Yeah, they may be here hopefully by Thursday or Friday.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, but good evening, and again, happy anniversary, Mr. Nagbe. Good to be back on the show, and looking forward to a great show. All good from my end. Yeah.
Thank you, Seleke. Thank you very much.
Great. So,
yeah,
real quick.
Yeah, I'll go on real quick on this one, but I just I wanted to have Mr. Nagbe, the greasy golfer that I visited in Canada. I really want somewhere he's shining the face and all those things. So
yeah, listen, man, you're making for the cold. It's frozen in time.
Yeah, that's it, man. But on a serious note,
listen. I wasn't gonna go there, but since the ambassador is going there, it was a great trip. Just keep it brief. The CMC is buzzing. We're not gonna be, shy about it. We're not gonna be cocky, but we're very confident about what we're doing, and we'll continue to work. We were pleasantly surprised by the turnout, and thanks to the team there, Otis, Prospering, Joseph, Linton, Matthew, Uncle Bill, Grandpa, all of them who hosted us. The attendance was very good. The reception was very good. The ambience was really good. Food was good. Environment was good. Let me break it down. And we're happy to say we've already started a cell over there that we hope to grow to a chapter very soon. But it was a pretty pleasant experience. Coming back was not so pleasant, due to the airport employee, Air Canada employees labor dispute. Our flight got canceled, about 5 of us, and so we had to drive over 18 hours from Nova Scotia all the way here. Coming through Maine, Massachusetts, New York, Connecticut, all the way down to Jersey. So, it was a pleasant trip. God is good. We're back and in one piece, so it's good to be back with you.
At least I push you to talk about it a little bit.
Yes. In the Bassa parable, they said craziness does have a good side.
Yeah.
Because crazy people walk from Basel all the way to Lofa and say, why should they are seeing places they are seeing?
Yes.
So
But at least it's good.
your misfortune may to see to have some sightseeing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All the area.
And then
We
indeed,
drove from
yeah.
there. It's going to be from Maine, Vermont, Massachusetts,
Massachusetts,
Rhode Island,
Connecticut,
Rhode Island,
Yes.
Connecticut, New
New
York.
York, New
Then
Jersey.
Actually, I think we managed to skip Rhode Island, but yes, exactly what you said, Sylvester. You know, Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, and then New Jersey. You know, so it was pretty nice. And I have to add here, thanks to our colleagues here on set. I'm not going to say names, but we're about to start a sale also in East Africa. We're very happy about this. We're excited about that. We've been approached.
Congratulations, Sidiki.
Why
No, don't put me in trouble. I have no idea about that. I'm not affiliated with CMC, please.
Pewee, are you saying
ANC man.
they say you undercover ANC man? You undercover?
I don't know. Congratulations, Sidiki.
I'm Mr. Nagbe got that information or that connection, but I don't know.
Exactly. I didn't say Sneaky. I know.
Sneaky, your allowance coming to be called up.
But we're happy to say we got in touch with Mr. Winston Cooper. That's his name and the team. And people are very eager, to sign up. So we hope to stand up the chapter there very soon.
Okay, yeah, we got.
Pewee. So let's go to the topic here.
Yeah, let me go to that quickly.
What you think about what Anthony Balazer and Kofi Woods? I mean, excuse me,
Dr. Clement. Yeah,
Kwame Clement instead of Kwame Kromah. Kwame
Yeah.
Clement.
Yeah, I think I listened to him sometime on the closing argument. I was not very privileged to be on the show that day, but he and one of his colleagues they spoke very well about this issue. Dr. Clement himself is a very good intellectual. From practicing, one of the journalists I really admire coming as a little boy. Whenever it's just time to study class, when he's on the news, I will have to peep, and sometimes I will even get disciplined for that. He was very authoritative in terms of his reading skill, his vocal authority on the news and all of things. That was the kind of a way of attracting people to sit, to be tuned, waiting for the news time. And then he came here, quickly got himself a very professional, a very high profile, into a high profile career as a lawyer back home, trying to do that. I think that's a very great thing. We only have one law school, and that's the only law school we've been having. And I mean, competitively, we have to move the country forward. The country will have to advance. So have different kind of a career to advance into different career areas. We need to upgrade and support that. And so I will really, if I was even asking the other council the last time if it is possible to do courses online, I would want to go to that law school and I'm intending to now do law. I would do that. If not to start here, I would do that on a more serious note. But again, it's very good because he's an extraordinarily smart man. He coming over brilliant teams of lawyers, and they will fit into the curriculum, and they will join the standard. They will bring some expertise to bear. What he said, I listened to him clearly. We communicated, and some of the things that they're trying to push is to bring some advanced professors, some professor with some lot of knowledge, and they will grow that. So trust me, in the next 5 years from now, we're going to see that law school coming on par. We need to be more than the Louis Underground School of Law. So it's going to be more competitive. It will help reduce the burden on tuition at the Louis Underground School of Law. It will also encourage more librarians to get into that noble profession. It's good and it's commendable. I will lastly end here that the governor of Liberia will now have to move to see where the government can help expand, because this expanded tertiary education, right? So how can we help the legal aspect to grow? So we need to can we help like we are helping the Louis Underground School? But the Louis Underground School is part of the University of Liberia. How can we help that private institution to grow and make some legal sense in the country?
Thank you. Seleke, this is, Ellen Johnson used to say, if your dream doesn't scare you, then it's not big enough. When he came up, when Kwame came up with this idea, he was approaching Liberians to invest in this idea for us to pool our resources, invest it, and he see that in few years you will have a great return on your investment. We needed a new law school in the Republic, and few people took him up, few people invested, and it looks like they are making headwaves.
Yeah, I hear you mention Kwame Nkrumah. Is that it? Kwame Nkrumah who was part of ANC?
Kwame Clement, yes.
Yeah, is that a Kwame that was part of ANC?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's great. You know, especially the recent competition that went into Ghana. I want to say a special congratulations to both Peace and Abigail, you know, for their participation and, you know, lifting the bar up there for the country of Liberia, because I think it was a few days ago, everybody was celebrating Liberia, not only the institution. So I don't know much about the school, but what I do know is that I don't know for him, is the same standard with the Louis Otto Graham School of Law, where you have to get a first degree before you kind of
Yes.
study there. I don't know if that is the same,
Yes.
but here in East Africa, specifically in Rwanda, you can study law as a first degree. There's no issue with that. But for Liberia, I don't know why they decided to restrict that. Well, it's not a bad thing though. I wish him all the best, you know, and good luck. Congratulations once again to the institution.
Great. Let me go to Mr. Seaton. The young man saw a gap in our system. He went to school in the United States. He saw how the legal system works, and he felt that the legal career in Liberia needed to be diversified, and he chose to be that one. And it looks like it's paying off.
Well, thank you very much. I must give kudos to my good friend, Mr. Kwame Clements, who was also a member of the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas. I've known Kwame when I was a teenager in Liberia, when he was a newscaster for the Liberia Broadcasting System. I think the gap that Kwame and his team tried to bridge is very important. We cannot have a country where there's only one sitting law school. And the fact that they were able to establish this law school, and this law school is now making headways in this West African sub-region, that is commendable. But as other speakers have said, I just hope that they will be up to the same standard as the University of Liberia, so that there can be some level of competition. And again, I want to say thank you to him. But again, he has to be very, very meticulous and make sure that the curriculum, the instruction that is being offered is on par with that of the University of Liberia and other leading legal schools in the West African sub-region. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Victor, I think there's Kwame Clements, and then there was another Anthony Balazer. So most likely somebody you may be acquainted with. They came up with the idea and they were looking for investors, and a year later, here they are.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Anthony Balazer is my brother-in-law. I mean, we're best buddies, and I'm really proud of the work they have done. I know Kwame also. And I have to also say that, like Sylvester, there are very notable names that are associated with that school. My best friend, T. Nibali Warner, is an instructor there. My cousin-in-law, the former Chief Justice, Francis Copper, is also associated with that school. Another in-law of mine, Pei Gussie, is also associated with that school. I think we also know Councillor Kehleboe Gongloe is also associated with that school. We also know that our current political leader of the CMC is a student at that school as well. So yeah, we're proud of what they're doing over there. I think they're providing an alternative to the Louis Otto Graham School of Law. And as we know, in the capitalist system, whenever there's competition, there is bound to be improvement and efficiency. So we think they're providing our students the option of either going to the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law or seek, alternative elsewhere. And I think that's what the Liberia School of Law is providing. I'm not necessarily surprised at their performance at the regional competition. Like I said, they're notable professors or names that are associated with our school, and I think they're bound to continue to impress. So, indeed, congratulations to them for what they're doing. We will keep watching and following. But yeah, of course, we expect the best to come out of the Liberia School of Law.
Excellent, 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 excellent. Here we have on the Liberia investigator, government urged to enforce Supreme Court order to evict CDC. This is very interesting story here.
CDC coming back in our case, though.
No, they just came back, but this is the twist.
Yeah.
The CDC won the case. The Supreme Court put an order, stop order.
Yeah.
But then the Mr. Dempster this morning says the administrator of the late Martha Stopperfield Bernard's estate, led by Mr. Ibrahima V. Dempster, are calling on the Liberian government to enforce the Supreme Court order to evict the Congress for Democratic Change from the property that has housed its national headquarters for nearly 2 decades. In a press release issued on Monday, the estate urged immediate government intervention to uphold the rule of law. It says the interstate estate of Martha Stopperfield Bernard is therefore appealing directly to the government of Liberia, the Republic of Liberia, through the Ministry of Justice and the Liberian National Police to provide police protection to the sheriff or the civil law court to effect the eviction of the Congress for Democratic Change in keeping with the mandate of the Supreme Court of Liberia. The release stated, our property is more than just a land and a building. It symbolizes the legacies of peace, unity, and development that should be preserved, not undermined. The estate said, headed by Mr. Dempster, said, disclosed that the National Police has reneged on providing the necessary police support to enforce the repossession of the property. They noted that on August 19, the Civil Law Court wrote to the Inspector General of Police, Colonel Gregory Coleman, to provide police support. However, the court communication had yet to be adhered to and reneged by the Inspector General, they alleged. So here we are. The Supreme Court has ruled that there should be a stay order, and this man is saying he wants to basically go around the Supreme Court ruling and go directly to the Minister of Justice and the Police General to come and evict. I want to say he's doing this because the president had done it once by disobeying the Supreme Court. So now he's encouraging them to disobey the Supreme Court by appealing directly to the Justice Minister and the Police Director to go and evict the folks. What kind of country is this, Mr. Pewee?
You see, it's quite unfortunate now that he will even sound this way. And again, this particular property, and I tell you, you're trying, and with the ruling from the Supreme Court that the property is not for he alone, is a problem. So even further, it's a very convoluted case. Right, very convoluted, and the current ruling from the Supreme Court further even complicates the matters, right? So what's going to happen now is for them to, it's going to be a difficulty. So it will give more breathing space to the CDC to continue being on the property. That is clear because they invested a lot in the property. But the ruling from the Supreme Court is law and gospel as per our laws of the country. So what he will have to do is to liaise with the lawyer. The government cannot help him. The president cannot help him. He will have to stop that. And quickly, what I want to say, it's not the first time the CDC were evicted from that property before. It's just, I think, and that time they even left. Yes, before the eviction, the CDC left from there. And then afterwards, there was a ruling. Then Achiba Bernard took over, and This time around, the CDC came back after, I think, what, 2020, 2007, 2008, thereabout, they were evicted. And then after there was a ruling, they came back. But with this now from the Supreme Court, I mean, Father said to us that the battle is not yet over. It's far from being over. And so, but the CDC got some breathing space now to stay be there. And those that were mocking the CDC, it's a big win for them.
Mr. Nagbe, Mr. Dempster have appealed despite what the Supreme Court said. I think he trying to vindicate the CDC when they said it was more political. Now he has appealed directly to the Justice Minister and the police director. Not the Supreme Court, not the court, but to the Justice Minister, which is part of the administration, to provide protection to evict the foot, despite what the Supreme Court said. Now, most people will say this is what they have. CDC have been saying all along. This was more political.
Well, look, with all due respect, this is a matter I really don't wish to expend any of my energy on.
Yeah, but guess what? We are discussing current event. You got to discuss it. You can't choose which one.
And I get it. I have said my part on it. I think this is an unfortunate development on the part of the CDC. And I put it squarely on them. I don't care whatever the circumstances right now. This is a matter that really was within, I believe, within a striking distance for them to have settled. And I think they toyed with it.
How you expect to settle it when you're in court? This might not be in court.
Why were they? Why were?
No, Mr. Nagbe, quickly. The CDC could not push them to settle. It was in court. It was being litigated. So the CDC could not move to say, I want to buy this property. They were pushing to do that, but it was in court. And the last ruling just came up from the judge, ruled that it should be evicted. And CDC moved the flag to the Supreme Court because they say, hey, no. This case, as per our honest, as per the documentations, this property is not owned by one man. So there's a new form of Pandora box open, and so they were not instructed to do anything because the case was being litigated at the time.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm not going to argue with you on that, Sylvester. I would take a pass on this matter. I will come in when we move on to another topic.
Okay.
Okay. Well, when we the politician, experienced man from the progressive wing of our politics is trying to go against what the law says. The law says the Supreme Court is the highest decision-making body in the country, and the Supreme Court said the prior court made an error. They said the court prior to this was in error. So they are telling, they put a stay order that they need to go back to status quo until everything is settled. Let me see. I think the chairman or the executive member of the CDC is here. If somebody could please take down the banner, the comment, so we can see his face. Ahmed.
Yeah.
Your take on what Mr. Dempster is trying to do by going to the Justice Minister and the Police Director to go and evict instead of what the Supreme Court says?
Well, it's good to be back on the show. Good evening to the listener and hi to all of you. Look, first, let me just say one thing clearly. The CDC does not intend to infringe, to abruptly sit on another man's property illegally and just, as if to say it's own it. All the party have indicated is that, look, for over 20 years, close to 20 years, we have been your tenant. Of course, we have complied with almost all of the terms and conditions of our stay. We have gone beyond those terms and conditions. We have improved the property. And so when you go to the court and talk about eviction, the interpretation you gave out there, which of course a lot of people insinuated, is that either we have fulfilled our own obligation in terms of either paying the rent or perhaps we are endangering the property. And so we thought that was unfair and we wanted the court to provide judgment in that direction. and we have said, look, our stay, we will not stay 1 day on that property. If the court decides that, look, CDC, your right to be there has expired, we'll be out. Perhaps, and on another had Dempster, perhaps. Dempster is a friend of mine. We have traveled to Ghana. We have hung out a lot of on different occasions. We formed friendship through the same process. While negotiating with him, we became friends. I flew to Ghana on several occasions. He and I were together. So I wouldn't talk any ill of him. I understand that perhaps he won his property. We understand that. And we are not refusing to give the property. In fact, like I said, we negotiated a purchasing price of that property to 1.3 million. I personally, I'm not saying they say I was involved in the negotiation in Accra, Ghana, at which time a part agreement that say or lease to own was consummated, and Dempster was giving some money in terms of lease. And then quite just recently when President Bouaga took over, we paid him close to 300,000 additional for a couple of different years. So we were up to date in everything. Everything was okay, except that as time went on, Dempster changed the agreed negotiated 1.3 to 4.5 million. That was shocking. We were shocked to find out why that was happening. And internally, many of us believe that that price is too exorbitant, is exploitative. We don't see the new reason why Dempster will want to increase it like that. If there's any value to that property, it is one that we added there. And we just thought that was not fair. Then we say, look, let the court give us the marching order if you knew eviction. Probably if you are giving us a notice, say, I give you the next 3, 4, 5 months to leave. I mean, that would be, all of us live in the United States here and other parts of the world. When you're a tenant and a landlord just comes to you and say, leave my property, he gives you time to leave. But when he goes through eviction, which is technically a legal process, it means that you have violated the terms of your being there. And that's why we said no. So at this point where we are, the court has said, look, the lower court ruling was not in line with the law. And so we will await whatever the court will decide. As I said, CDC position is very clear on this matter. If the court denies us the right to be there, we'll leave. If Dempster is able to sit with us to negotiate a reasonable price within the former price we discussed, 1.3, we think that is reasonable. 2 million is reasonable, but to go up to 4 million, we think that is exploitative, and we think that there may be some influence that could not be far from political.
Thank you. Seleke, it goes on to say, further complicating the issue, Arvin, we said, no, let me go to this one. In response to the estate push for enforcement, CDC Chairman Janga Kawo addressed the media asserting that the eviction proceedings are politically motivated and reaffirming the party's commitment to the legal processes. We have consistently met our financial obligations by paying rent to the Bernard family, the legitimate administrators of Martha Stubberfield Bernard's estate. Kawo told the journalists at the Temple of Justice. He is saying they got the documentation, they have paid their rent, they don't owe anything in arrears. But this person doing this is more of a political witch hunt by going to the justice minister instead of the Supreme Court. Your take?
Yeah, Mr. Gayman, I'm not going to take a long, because I think we've talked about this, some part of last week. So what I would say here is that, CDC should stop playing with it like blind people. And here is what I say this. You're going through a legal case to the court, and when the court rule on your side, you don't complain, you don't say it's a wish hunt. You come on the media, you celebrate that. But when the court go against you, you try to bring politics into it and say, the government is trying to kill our party and all of that. You can't do that, and if what Seleke just explained, that's what been happening, CDC have that right in code. You can't go into a negotiation with somebody to buy the property, and make some payment towards it, and just come one morning and say, I increase the price, And so that's why we have the code system. But my thing here have always been that we should not politicize the kind of issues, because it happened yesterday with the current ruling party. And they left. When the landlord of the former headquarters of the Unity Party, where opposite Spoon headquarters came up and said that they were increasing our rent, they could not afford the left. You see, they didn't politicize it and say, oh, CDC trying to kill us. So
But
today,
no,
if
but
that is
Mr. Kromah, can I correct you? The Unity Party was evicted for non-payment of rent. The CDC does not owe any
Mr.
rent.
Mr. Gayman, to close on here is how I would say.
Yeah, it's
Going
good. It's good. It's good. It's good
let's
to acknowledge the correction, because the two scenarios are not the same. We
yeah,
don't
Anthony,
owe. We are not violated. And
you
then
spoke,
and then
we listened to you.
yeah,
This
let me.
platform,
But I
now
need to
everybody
correct
get
you
a
because
chance
you
to speak.
quoted me, and I didn't say we say the Liberian people manipulating. I said
No,
the
I'm not
other.
saying
I
you.
said
What you have been doing in the past few
no, no, no.
weeks,
Our position on this
you know,
matter have been
they say all our
consistent.
politics
I'm not
trying
giving.
to bring us down.
I'm not giving my own view. I'm giving the position of the institution. I'm saying to you, we believe that, considering that we do not owe Ibrahima, considering that we have an amicable relationship, I said to you on numerous occasions, I've traveled to him, I've taken his rent to him before amicable relationship. So to see him taking it from 1.3 to 4.5, we have no other thing to think about except that there is some influence in that direction that could be political.
Which I agree with you. You
That's
know,
what I'm
and
saying.
that's supposed to be
We're
so.
not
It's
saying the
a
government
fair
quote the
process.
quote.
But my thing here is now the Supreme Court already make a ruling that the lower court, you guys, where you know they made a wrong ruling. So going forward, nobody should be quiet. If you win a case, then they give you time to how they call it, you know, to stay there or maybe complete your payment. You know, if not, if the court rule that you leave, you leave. Don't, there's no need to bring politics into the United Party want to kill. You cannot kill CDC no matter what they do. I'm not a sedition. They can't kill CDC. You know, so let's stop politicizing everything. You know, I see Susan over there, but it's okay, not Susan, but Sarah is fine. But Mr. Gayman, that's my comment towards it. You
Right,
know,
let
it's
me
not
go.
politicizing thing. It's not
Yeah,
political.
let me go to Honorable Seaton here. Mr. Seaton, the CDC, the chairman said they have been vindicated. They were evicted wrongly, and the Supreme Court agrees with them that the lower court erred and should not have evicted them because they cannot be evicted. They don't owe. So you cannot evict someone when they don't owe you. They have not broken their lease. They don't owe any money in arrear. So they are saying that the property belongs to two families, and one family cannot do a declarative judgment against anybody without the consent of the other. Your take.
Well, thank you very much. Here is the issue here. The issue here is number one, CDC entered into a legal contractual agreement with the owner of the building or the owner of the property. And that agreement is stipulated a time frame, how much CDC will be paying per month for the property. CDC has been paying that. Without any discussion to CDC, the owner arbitrarily increased the rent, which also clearly a violation of the lease agreement, first and foremost. You just don't arbitrarily increase a rent on a lease when the lease agreement is already in force. Okay? Now, he tried to evict the CDC. The CDC appealed to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court put a stay on it. Now he's trying to circumvent the ruling of the Supreme Court to bypass the Supreme Court to go directly to the Justice Ministry. This is the problem with our country. People don't want to obey the rules, they don't want to follow the laws. And you see this playing out over and over and over again. You understand? It is not good for the country that the Supreme Court, the final arbiter of justice in Liberia, will put a stay order on a case, then you turn around, you try to circumvent. I think the gentleman is trying to exploit the situation. He is trying to exploit CDC, and I'm not a sedition, but I think it is unfair to the political to the party. This should not be happening in Liberia. And again, if people say this is political, I would tend to believe it because the executive branch and politicians they have enormous influence in Liberia. So it is possible. that this could be political. And it is possible that this could not be political. You understand? Thank you.
Hey, real quick, let me start with this one, then we'll go to call at 7:30 for 30 minutes. We want to, by 7:30. Honorable Pewee, the National Port Authority boss Dukley denies fraud allegations, says case is not criminal. And it says here, Sekou A.M. Dukley, Managing Director of the National Port Authority, has denied allegations by the Chinese business partner Yang Deng that he defrauded him of millions of US dollars and blocked access to their jointly established businesses. Yang recently filed a complaint with the Liberian National Police accusing Dukley of fraud and misappropriation. The Liberian National Police has since launched a criminal investigation into the matter. According to the complaint filed by the lawyer representing Yang, a majority shareholder in the A.M. Duke Investment Group of companies, Dukley allegedly received more than $3.6 million on false pretenses for joint venture, including the construction of a mineral water bottling plant and the establishment of a mining company. Yang's lawyer alleged that a mineral water factory was built in Liberia at a cost of about $2.55 million, fully funded by Mr. Yang. Dukley allegedly provided land for the facility and agreed to contribute equally, but only wired $333,000. Yang claimed were largely spent on luxury goods and personal expenses for Dukley. On the mining venture, Yang alleged he provided an additional $1.13 million for mining licenses and permits, but none were ever delivered. Misuse of funds, Yang alleged financed renovation of Dukley's properties and purchased luxury items, including Rolex watches, electronics for him. Brown and associate of Dukley allegedly received $220,000 from licenses and legal fee that never materialized, and is accused of unlawfully seizing Yang's truck and excavator. Yang said when he demanded accountability in late 2024, Dukley allegedly influenced Deng's business associate to file criminal charges against him, landing Yang's prosecution for allegedly misusing $4.5 million. This one, we are talking about private investors coming to the country. This is a lot of money, Sylvester.
Absolutely, too much of money. There's plenty of money, and again, it's a difficult thing and that's the reason why we're not receiving investors in the country. It's not the first time. There are a lot of other investors that would say Liberian business officials or other business people will they will cajole investors to the country, and when their investment is done, then they will have to be investigated. Particularly the officials that is involved will have to be investigated. He's alleging that it's not true, and the Chinese man is also saying that countering that aspect of his statement. But it is important that the government of the president will have to ask the Ministry of Justice to really look into the point of the kind of an independent inquiry team to look into this. If it is true that you're trying to defraud a potential investor into the country, it's a problem, and it got the proclivity of scaring away very powerful investors, or will-be investors, if you will, to come in the country and pump some money. So it's just a troubling development, and I wouldn't really want to stick too long on this one. The fact that Dukley is saying, because I don't have all of the facts, I can't come out and state for the record that he did this, because I'm not privy to those agreement that they went through, but there's a need to do a very independent investigation into this matter to find out as to if the Chinese man is saying what he's saying is true, or what Dukley is alleging that the Chinese man is on the spree of mis and disinformation. If that is established, then we move on, because the reason why we want to do this is to also set the pace for potential will-be investors to come to the country. Because if this kind of information is being spread out there, it's clear potential investors from coming to the country. So it's troubling naturally. There's a need to look into it and see if there's something the Chinese man is saying that will get that right. Because and beyond the Chinese man, also he's a Chinese citizen, and their country is also one of our major partners in terms of development, our bilateral partners, if you will. So to keep man, because that's amount is not small money. That's the money if I got maybe 20% off, I can plan a retire issue now and go in the forest and do some very good business on that. So it's a very big money, and $4 million is not a small thing for anyone to defraud someone of using your privilege as a government official allegedly. It's not a good thing to do. I think we should go more deeper into it and catch the facts. And if the facts are found and he's guilty of defrauding the Chinese man, there should be an appropriate action. If the Chinese man is, well, he's alleging are all fabricated and meant to smell the name of this government official, there should be a consequence for him also.
Honorable Nagbe, Douglas has admitted he received $1 million for the water and received $308,741. $308,741.82 from Yang for licenses and operation, but maintained that even though they didn't get the license, but the money was appropriately used. He didn't deny. He says here, he said,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and he received the money from the member, he used it appropriately.
Yeah, and he says here,
that's nonsense.
He said even everything he said was true. There was a commercial matter. He had to take me to the commercial court and nothing criminal. Mr. Nagbe, this guy is something else.
Yeah, look, he represents the current system that we have as a government. This is not an isolated case. It is happening all over in this government. I mean, there is a story now that is running on another network, which is implicating a slew of government officials in pay-for-play scams. And this is what Douglas was right here in Philadelphia. Was any Chinese man going to come to him if he were not a government official? I don't think so. I don't know. But this sounds to me again like a pay-to-play, influence peddling. And this government is riddled with this practice. And nothing seems to be happening to any of these people who are partaking in this practice. The problem with that is that a lot of our people are losing the benefits that will be derived by investors coming into the country. This kind of thing drives investors away. And time after time and time after time, we come here, we talk about it. It is printed in other media. Other people come on social media and talk about it. I mean, there is absolutely nothing that happens to these people. Absolutely nothing. I cannot think of any instance where a direct action has ever been taken when these people were found culpable. But this is what is happening in this government, and unfortunately, I think it has become normalized. These guys got me in government. Some of them, yes, some of them were okay, doing okay. But apparently a good number of them came into this government very, very hungry. And they are in a hurry to get their fill. And nobody seems to be paying attention, bothering to care about what is happening, But these are mostly fraudsters. He took the people money apparently on a false pretense. They try to get it back. The back and forth. They sue him. He's counter suing him. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? And he's still sitting as the managing director of the Port Authority of the Port of Liberia. So what does that say about our government? And what does it say to would-be investors who may be interested in coming to Liberia to invest? I'll be honest, that is not something that will encourage me to want to come, as much as I am a Liberian. But these are the kind of things you have to think of first before you think about putting your money into Liberia. Pay for play all over the place. Even then, most of them take the money and don't deliver. They take your money and run. And then when you talk, they hide behind the shield of the government, and you can't touch them. Very sad.
Mr. Seaton, one of Douglas' associate, Mr. Brown, he said Brown denied receiving $222,000, though he acknowledged collecting 99,700, which is over 100,000 for business expenses. He collected $100,000 and he claimed he used it for business expenses without the corresponding product. And as far as the Earth movie equipment that the Chinese man claimed was stolen, he said he took the machine, but at the consent of the man. Mr. Sito, can you imagine taking their property? He said, I took it, but you consented. My property. Liberia is a place. Mr. Sito, your turn.
You know, Liberia is a joke. It is sad for some of us to say it. Liberia is the only country we have. Do we have a statutory institution responsible for investment in Liberia? Yes, we do. And that is the National Investment Commission. Why would we have the National Investment Commission, an agency of government that is solely responsible to bring investors in the country and provide employment for our people? Why is it that we will have the National Investment Commission in the country? Then we have private individuals, government officials going out of the country, scamming would-be investors to come and invest in Liberia only to scam them at the end of the day. This is wrong. It is unacceptable. It tells us the kind of people we are. We are a group of criminals who are trying to just scam people and steal from them. People with their hard-earned money coming to the country to invest outside of the legal framework of investing in Liberia. Why is that happening in Liberia? The National Investment Commission is there. But government officials, private citizens, they go out, they lure people to come and invest in Liberia outside of that legal framework that has been established by law. What are we saying to the international community? That Liberia is not a good place to invest. And once there's no investment, the vast majority of our people will be what? They will be languishing in poverty because there are no jobs. Government cannot hire everybody. That's why the private sector comes in. But if people are coming to invest in individual citizens, you're a managing director of the National Port Authority. Then you have a private business aside of the National Port Authority. That's another conflict of interest. What are we saying to our partners? Are we really serious to move that country forward? Are we, as a people, that we create all of these laws, we circumvent these laws only for our own benefit to the detriment of the vast majority of the Liberian people? This is a disgrace. It is a disgrace. And sadly, these people go around, these are the people that are being honored as honorable in Liberia when they are milking the country. Thank you very much.
Father of the year. Mr. Seleke Kromah.
Oh, man.
Mr. Douglas said the police should not be dragged into a non-criminal matter. Douglas' lawyer concluded calling for Yang to seek remedy through the civil court.
Yeah, Mr. Gayman, I think when you were asking Mr. Nagbe, you asked a question, you made a statement, and I just wanted a clarity on that, and I can give him a point. You said Douglas admitted to receiving money from the Chinese investor.
Right.
So who Douglas admitted?
Well, this is the the case that was taken to the police, the complaint that was filed. This was we're reading from his interview, from the interview that Mr. Douglas gave to the police back and forth.
Oh, okay. So that means the police invited him and his own personal statement he gave the police.
Yeah, but he telling the police that they should not get involved. This is a civil case. They should go to the civil court. And the man lawyer say, however, Yang's lawyer have turned Douglas admittance to enter a business venture with Yang and openly telling the police to abandon the investigation because it is a civil matter as it's a tacit confession to the crime. This became because there is irrefutable evidence that Douglas denied access, the man own access to the business, and he said it's on tape, it's everything. That's what they are saying. How can he say?
But Mr. Gayman, the point I wanted to make is that Douglas has been one of the government officials since this government took over that have gone through a lot of public criticism, and that is because of his lack of experience before coming to this position. And some are even alleging that he brought this, this position is currently holding, and some other people are even accusing him of his, the same play-to-play thing in the U.S., how he was involved with some illegal businesses and all of that. But this is the man President Bouacar chose over his own party chairman. Remember, Luther, I don't know, Reverend Luther Tappe had to put parties together to go to Joe Bouacar house to protest that they were forgotten and all of that. And when this guy took over Mr. Gayman, I think 2 months, a month, few weeks, he came up and created this narrative that he's making a difference at the port. And in fact, they've raised about, 2 million, and this was celebrated in the country. But then, so the man just took over, and the port have been able to raise this amount, clear our debt and all of that. And today, in the last, I think 2024 budget, the port could not meet the LRA requirement, the amount that they were asked to raise, for the lax budget supporting all of that. They could not even meet that amount. So I don't know. And Mr. Nagbe spoke about play-to-play in this government. One George Wally is a Unity partisan. Few days ago, he posted, when UP won this election, he went to Liberia. But for him, he decided to get into the private sector. I think he opened a short company where they call it, has to do with some driving, picking up people from one point to another. He posted recently that everywhere.
A shuttle service.
Thank you. And I think him, Mr. Jackson. So he been engaging to the private sector, but he complained recently he's a Unity partisan. That look, everywhere I go to get contract to compete, not to get rid of me as a Unity party man, but just to compete as a Liberians, they deprive me of it. And this is not a government we bring to power. And so it is normal. And look at people that own parties ain't talking about it. Liberians themselves are talking about it. What more of a Chinese man? But Douglas has a terrible record. I don't know if it's, and he has a group of inexperienced young folks that some of them just graduated from the University of Liberia, just putting how they put there. And our own brother Abu, I want to attack, I don't know, attack door. When you say Douglas, they just come after you, yeah, they be insulting you everywhere, One Jusu Kamara is at the port there, taking 4K per month. This is that guy's first ever job in his entire life. And when you talk, you say you're against your fellow young people. And these are some of the things they get a whole team set up. Even the spoon journalist that is in Poland studying called James Gooden Flomo. When you come and question him about some of those things, they get him on payroll and they come after you. And the government or the president, we have to step in, because you can have an official being accused of, defrauding somebody $4 million. As Sylvester said, that is not a small money. It's a lot of money, $4 million. And Douglas, with a different accusation. First, I used to be offended because it was never about the issues. They used to attack his trap. He's bringing Maningo people to the pole and all of that. I came in defense of him one day. I don't know him. I've never met him before. In fact, right after that, when I made a criticism against him, he blocked me, which I don't care about. But at the end of the day, Douglas and how you call this guy, Daniel Sano, they've come on a lot of criticism, and even Patriot on this administration. But Douglas is always about credibility. His past record in the U.S., and he being engaged into some money issue with some foreigners, which is very, very sad. And President Baga should come in. You know, I hope he does, but let's see what happens in the next few months to come.
Honorable Pewee, you close up on this. Pewee, are you there? The Ducle is not, he's not denying taking the people's money. He only saying it is not criminal. He says it is not criminal. He took the money, but it's not criminal. So having the police involved, to him, it is wrong. They should sue him in a civil court. That's his stand. That's what Ducle is saying. Whatever he did is not criminal. It happens all the time in commercial businesses. You go into a business, business is risk. You go in there, you can win or you can lose. So what he is saying, yes, he took some of the money, but it is not criminal. It is a civil lawsuit. Let Jen take him to the civil court. Don't bring the police involved because it's not criminal. That's what he is saying.
I think I got that point clearly. The fact that he will even acknowledge that it is civil, then something sinister may have happened. There's some level of some cynicism that unfolded in this particular matter. So yes, what I would say to him is the problem for him to focus more or less in resolving this issue, get back to his business partner, because this is not a good sign for him. He's a young man, right? He got a lot of potential ahead of him. He'd be engaging in other things here, out of the business and other things. It's good to be very faithful. The Bible says that it's good to be faithful also, right? You can't, even the Quran talk about that. So I would believe, as a devoted mostly himself, I would believe that he should do the issue. The moral judgment, moral character, and exhibiting those lines very important. The fact that he pushed into civil, meaning he may have done something to the guy that is unacceptable.
No, but Honorable Pewee, he admitted that he took $1.3 million. He says not four, but he took $1.3 million. He admitted to it.
But that open issue, I mean, it's a problem. I think the president should take some decision in this matter. If the president cannot take some decision in the matter to reprimand him, sending signal to who-be corrupt government official that got certain intention, it can be some problem. It will scare away investors. We have to do something about this issue, and we have to correct it. And it has to be corrected immediately. Now, if he took the guy money, listen, these are people that are just like, these are enterprising individuals that have focused on trying to pump their money into where the money will multiply. And that's the reason why if you went to China today, I would challenge you, go to China, you're going to see, and that's one of the reasons the country is doing that, because the young people are trying to think outside the box to invest all around, both in their country and outside their country. And it's even also in the most powerful country on earth. That's why it's growing. Entrepreneurship is growing, it's booming. Why would you do that? Trust me, he would never have done that on an American. He would never have done that, because the U.S. embassy are going to pour a statement and the president is going to immediately dismiss it. You see, the problem of our government officials, the way they do things and they get involved in businesses in the country, they don't want to do the right thing. It's wrong. I think he needs to apply it, and he needs to find means to fix this problem. And let me say this to him, and dear brother, we all young adults now, moving on. If you allow this to further generate into a more chaotic situation, and you get pushed against the wall, your job is at stake. If anyone that can talk to you, listening to this program, I will advise them to talk to you. If you allow this to further degenerate into a more problematic situation for the president, eventually you're going to go. If the only way you play this low for me, if you know your hands are absolutely clean. But if it is true that this guy gives some money to you, and you try to use his investment to get him out because he's a foreigner, you mistake him, because if bounce back, it's going to be bad for you. And if you had to be dismissed for some unscrupulous attitude on your part, vis-a-vis relative to corruption, it's not a good sign for you, right? So we have to understand, because you are also involved in businesses and other business activities on this side. And if the people capture that, they're going to spray it. If they spray it, then there's going to be this issue about some due diligence put on you, some validation process going to be put into place. So I will call on him as a dear brother to begin this process of engaging this Chinese counterpart, your business counterpart, sit with him and say, where's the problem? He don't have to go to court. And I think that's what they're going to do now. Other people in the country are going to use the other way around to put more pressure to bear. And when more pressure comes to bear, and you are found somehow liable in line of taking the guy money, trust me, you either pay his money or probably the president will be pushed. And I'm saying this out of just something I know what the Liberia politics can be. Our leaders are tend to be, when they are pushed against the wall, anything that will border on their government reputation or their reputation, that will be transfer aggression, they will move to take some immediate action, and that will not be a good sign for him.
Let me just make a comment on this issue. I think the point that Dukley made, that this issue is a civil matter, I think that is correct, because that was an agreement between two individuals. If indeed he felt that the Chinese man, and I'm not condoning Dukley's action, let me make it clear here. If the Chinese man felt that he's been duped, and from the narrative that was just stated, I think clearly the Chinese national has been duped, I think he needs to take this case to court and let the court rule. If the court rules in his favor, then that's the time the police come in to what? To enforce the court's judgment. I don't think it was right for the Chinese national to go and complain to the police. The first thing that should have been done was to take this matter to court. That's what the legal system are there for. Even though I know, if
the Chinese man deemed it to be criminal in nature because he was defrauded, he should go to the police.
No, not only defrauded, but he was brutalized.
You were brutalized, so the police
by who?
So he was not wrong to go to the police.
You were brutalized by who?
By Dukley and his associates.
And I think at some point the police were involved in the issue before.
That's what he did. He filed a complaint to them.
Hold on now. At some point, the police attempted arresting the man and taking him out of the country.
That's correct.
So if the police attempted
to see so he wanted to forcibly deport the guy.
So and then he used the police. That's what I'm saying. This man needs, in order to get the real redress, use the courts.
Yeah, but when you are brutalized, that's a crime. You got to
hold on now. Who allegedly caused the brutalization? The police were part of that war.
That's correct.
The point I'm making. Then why go back to the police?
But it still doesn't negate the fact that a crime was committed.
We understand that, but who determines whether a crime is committed?
The law.
Who determines whether a crime is committed?
The law.
Is it Dukley?
Nobody does.
It's the law. It's the law. That is the reason why, because the police is also a party into the whole situation. That is the reason why the court needs to get involved. But again, this is Liberia. And Liberia, this case is not only unique to this government. There were other previous governments.
No. We are talking about this case. We don't want to talk about Charlie King and Ellie, and we're talking about this one here.
But again, it is the system that is in the country that is defrauding all of these people. They come with their money with good intention outside of the arrangement that's supposed to bring an investor into the country. We have an arrangement. We have a statutory legal institution that you're supposed to pass your investment to. But people are circumventing that, and they're bringing these people into the country, and they are duping them. And that is wrong.
Great.
So we can open the phone line now and the call.
Yes, we can open the phone line for anybody to discuss either one of the topics we are talking about.
077 959 now. Kia Radio 077 959 You're gonna be live on Kia Radio and Truth FM on the closing argument to make your input. 077 959
Great. Mr. Nagbe, let me start with you on this one while we wait for a call here. The University of Liberia report massive failure in 2025 placement. Hold on, we got a call here. Hold on, we got a call. Let me see who's called.
Yes, please.
Okay. We got a caller here. Let me see.
Standing here, former editor of the National Enquirer and the author.
Your name and where you calling from? Guys, everybody mute.
Yes, Kehleboe Gongloe calling. I just got a quick question for Mr. Jackson Seaton, or should I say mathematician Jackson Seaton. Jackson, if you send $100,000 to Liberia to somebody to build a house for you, you go there, you find your house. You feel free to go to the court, Liberian court. I want you answering publicly for the Liberian to hear it. You tell somebody who put a foreigner to go to court instead, not to go to the police, where at least there will be little fools. You, Jackson Seaton, do you feel confident with the Liberian court when you put millions of dollars in somebody's hand? I know you say yes, maybe. I just want to hear from you.
Okay, thank you for your question. First and foremost, I am too smart to take my money and give it to somebody to build a house.
No.
No.
Event that happened. No. That's you're not smart. I know you're not doing, but in the event, in the event you did that. What would be that?
In the event, I will go to the law. I will go to the law.
The police,
that's what the legal system is there for.
Yeah, but the process begins with the police.
Okay, yeah, I go to the police for
but you said
an
you have gone to the police.
Because what I'm saying here is that Dukle is saying this case is not criminal, it's civil. It is civil. And if you look at the history of this case, the police at some point were involved. So they became a party. Whether it was from the higher up, but the fact that police came to arrest the man to forcibly take him out of the country, so the point I'm trying to make here is all of these issues should not be happening in Liberia. They should not be happening in Liberia. No investor is supposed to go to Liberia under the pretext of somebody luring them. Investors are supposed to go to Liberia through the National Investment Commission. And until that happens, all these kind of things will always happen in the country.
Absolutely. Honorable Nagbe, guys, everybody mute, please. Everybody mute. Good. Okay. Honorable Nagbe, hey, is it Simpson?
She's allowed outside from 6
Simpson
to 9 o'clock at night, whether it's on the athletic field, to take yoga classes, Pilates.
Simpson, you got to mute.
Football, depending upon the facilities of the camp.
So it's not Simpson.
It's pretty much, freedom.
Victor, is that you?
Where you can't leave. If you leave, and
it got to be somebody in the background.
You're going to be a fugitive. So, barring that, she has unfettered privileges within the camp.
Somebody is in the background. I don't know who else is in the background. Is that Pewee?
It's dormitory style housing.
Okay. Well, Victor, let's look at the administration of the University of Liberia has a now massive failure in the institution as of July 12th. The entrance placement examination, according to LU,
there's a puppy program.
out of the 13,130 students that passed, that took the test, 9,299 failed. 74% of the students that took the exam failed.
It is disgusting to hear the privilege.
While 2,802, 28% passed, a total of 614 candidates, 4.6 of them were absent. Why would you pay your money and do everything and then don't show up? But the president is saying there were more females that passed the exam than males, and she's concerned that the university or the people coming to the university are not prepared for college work.
Pretty disconcerting. Samson, can you hear me? Samson, can you hear me? Mr. Manzaro, you guys need to find a way to mute whoever is in the background.
Samson.
Yeah, it's very difficult to make an input.
I think it is Pewee.
Yeah.
Thank you. Samson, can you mute everybody who is in the back?
I think it's muted now.
Okay.
Oh, he's muted. He's muted.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Look, Jerome. We've said here on several occasions the state of our education in Liberia. You have a profession that is dominated by volunteer teachers. Teachers who may likely not be as motivated as those who are being paid. Teachers some of whom may not even be as qualified to teach the subject matter that they are teaching our students. We've heard stories of high school graduates teaching high school graduates, teachers themselves, who are not certified. And so it's I can't say I'm surprised that this is the kind of result we're getting, because um, education really requires a lot of investment. There are a lot of factors that go into preparing a student. And our students are facing tremendous odds as it is outside of the classroom, and to come into the classroom and be met again with another failure, because this is a failure of the system. The system has no mechanism to streamline who goes into the classroom, and as a result, everybody who wants to go into the classroom and profess to be a teacher apparently is allowed to do so. And no wonder we're getting the kind of result we're getting. I mean, Jackson here is a fellow educator as myself. There's a rigorous process here that is required for you to enter the classroom. You got to do your student teaching. You got to do your lesson preparation. The pedagogy. You got to do your. It's the whole training. Even then, when you're teaching, there is continuous professional development. To hone your skills where you may not be as sharp as you should be. And the system here is not to shame you, even if you came in unprepared. There are lots of opportunities that are provided, that are given you to improve your game. I don't think this is happening. We used to have these training institutions, KRTTI, the Weber Teacher Training Institute in the Southeast, and all these institutions, even they themselves are struggling. We're getting indications that even they themselves are dealing with volunteer teachers. And so the whole system apparently is built on volunteerism, which makes it difficult for you to impose, stop gaps or benchmarks or qualification restrictions or guidelines. And so this is what we get. I'm afraid it will continue to be this way until we tighten the screws where we need to. Our education, the investment. We had the deputy minister here the other day, Mr. Kessley, and he ran us through, some of the difficulties that they're experiencing. We see that. And then, our friend Rogers, I believe that's his name, who goes around the country and captures, the state of affairs around the country in our various schools. We're seeing what is happening, and I can't say I'm surprised with the kind of result that we're getting. Quite frankly, I think the students themselves are very enterprising. If 24 or 26% of them are passing the universal library entrance. But I'm afraid it is going to get worse before it gets better.
Seleke, we have just a few days ago we received the WIRE exam, and 1.5%. Is that 1.5% of the total Liberian population students were able to pass the national exam. And these are the students that are going to the University of Liberia. Is there any reason for us to believe why we are seeing this? Let me go to Pewee. Pewee, we have the WIRE exam. 1.5% of the population out of 52,000 or so students pass. Is there a correlation here between what we see at the bottom level and what we see at the University of Liberia?
Oh, obviously, with the report just coming up from the University of Liberia, in the report that's been reported out there, and what's coming up from the WACS, not at the WIRE office or WACS head office, it's not a good report. And I think before the latter part of the Weah administration, we've seen some very tremendous progress in the report of the WAC's examinations. Liberia reports were very basically coming up very good, and it started now to retrogress again on this new rescue mission. I thought it would have been okay to now rescue WACs. The rescuing missions even trying to further plunge the rating in the months is plummeted significantly, if you will. So, but there's this need that we refocus our agenda on how can we aggressively rebuild the educational sector of the country. It's very important because we're going to, and I like how you face the point at the level what's going to come up there, what we can get from the level of the WACs and the high school level, the ninth grade and the sixth grade, as we prepare them to move forward. If the foundation is not as good, you only expect at the tertiary level, you don't expect good performance. So that's what the problem is. The entrance to the University of Liberia to result was very, very poor as per the report coming out. So there's a need to, is it a curriculum problem? I don't think so. It's not a curriculum problem. It's a manpower development problem. Yes, that's what the problem is. And that's one of the reasons why when the government recent strategy to hit the World Bank to start building more schools in the country, we are not, I don't think we short of it in certain area, but we have instructional problem. There's this problem that we have to tackle as to how we engage those instructional. So the Deputy Minister for Instruction of the Ministry of Education, we have to be more strategic to come up with a national plan along the Minister of Education, and we put a national plan out to the country via the office of the President to the legislature, that we put into place a comprehensive policy, and that will include all of the various teaching methodologies, because we need those instructional staff and we need other instructional materials. Do we have all of those to ensure that the classroom is prepared to those that are impacting or infusing knowledge within those students themselves, and then that codified. So we have to do that. We also have to have a roadmap. What is this roadmap to most of those teacher training institute, the ZRTTR, the KRTTR, the Rural Teacher Training Institute, for instance. We do have one in Zozo in my own district. And so how can we go about, Gayman, to put into place more resources in terms of legislative allocations to help that move on? Listen, we have to. In this country, recent time, there's a debate about students performing poorly in reading and mathematics. Now, there's other states that are now trying to reform to change their approach as to what they can put in place to enhance the reading ability of students, particularly. Like the state of Delaware has been very well in terms of the school district my little daughter is in, the economic school district, is doing fantastically very well in terms of the way they handle the kids and all of things. The last time she was all on principal list and all of things, the reading line, the math line, all of things. So we will have to do the same, do a comprehensive plan. And I'm going to see the same results coming out. How can we approach that? And the high school. So the Ministry of Education, through the office of the Deputy Minister for Instruction, will also have to be, and the system will have to be very proactive in engaging private schools, seeing the line. Look, the curriculum is not an issue. The curriculum is good, but the instructional mechanism is where the problem is. And do we have the manpower? If manpower, all of those instructional things we need to carry on the line. Are the teachers well trained to teach in the classroom? Sometimes, unfortunately, there's a few matters, so I will only say this. We have some high school graduates that's supposed to be smart, hired to teach high school students. Now, we need to deploy the K-square methodology in teaching. That is how do we draw the curriculum? Is the curriculum drawing issue straightforward? How the assignment be presented? What's the approach? What's the ambience in the classroom? And how do we do the measurement to find out this student is having a pass mark here? And what are the pass mark doctrine we have? Are we teaching for students to pass, or are we teaching for students to learn? There's a serious gap there. And intellectually, we have to take some time to engage that and know as to how we intend to move the country. Other than that, we're going to start having some serious problem in the next 5-10 years. Are we going to have a country capable, competent enough to withstand the intellectual challenges that may come and face off in terms of global competition? we have to be competitive in terms of our having a student exchange from the global perspective. If I had left from the University of Liberia, that was seriously the challenge at the time we went to the University of Liberia, and we still came back here and we performed very adequately. It should be the measure. We got some serious. So what can the government do now to remove those horrors that the university or other institution of learning are currently faced with, so that we move the country? It's a serious debate. We have to take a day to look at that. The report from WACS and the University of Liberia. Imagine females did perform very well for the University of Liberia placement entrance results than male students. The first time this is happening in many, many years. And that is a good thing also in terms of competitiveness. But why is it that the performance rating is very, very poor? Very extremely poor from both sides. It's a result that we think on that we having some serious problem.
Let me just quickly, Jerome, if you let me just maybe
let me welcome the chief, Tomalin George.
The man was he still got a hangover from Ben's birthday celebration. He coming later.
Man, why you bringing the man business out here? The man, you see the man just woke up.
No, but it's good to see you guys, and happy to see you. The Honorable J. Victor Nagbe, fresh from the CMC. I know people say they're going on vacation.
The other man, every
time. So if you're gonna go there, let me tell you, if we're vacation and do that type of, I'll be running behind all time. They won't collaborate with us.
Who running behind you?
You thought that there.
Right here, look, it's a Unity Party signal possible 2029 alliance with Musa Billy, the CMC. It's right here. I didn't want to read it before you got off right there. There you go.
But maybe we know. Maybe that won't get all happy. We know, yeah. But I know that there's a planned gathering. That's what we did 2004 when we came out with that. When we came out with the idea CDC, it's a planned gathering of young progressive and independents from all walks of life. We're trying to come and say, look, the question being asked. So we only rely on Joe Boyka, Jeremiah Kuhn, Joshua, as the only people we're looking up to run for president 2029 again. Are the only people we're looking at? So nobody from that generation can come up forward and say, let's challenge the status quo. They say, so like question being asked, and people are now bringing names. People are coming with names now who can hit the challenge. So very soon, as we approach 2026, we'll see that great gathering. And
so your candidate still in the race?
My candidate in the race, and part of that. 2026, we announced our candidate. 2026, we announced the candidate, and honestly, and mind you, look, the Liberian people will understand.
Honorable Pewee, I want you to take note. We're taking note. The chief himself said 2026.
73 electoral district of Liberia will be covered. We ensure that we visit the 17 electoral district. Our message will resonate with the people, and we put the records on the table. Y'all still want to go with it with the past 20 years, whether I receive or not. And I can tell you, a veteran Liberian journalist like Jackson TLC Tom, when they will we're adding their voice there. We need voice, to put a voice there. Because if we sit down right now, most of us now, the next 10 years from now, we'll be in retirement, going maybe 10, 15 years, yeah. We'll be hitting retirement now. So now, if you want to go retire in America, it's up to you. You want to be in a group here in his nursing home or business.
But who want to do that? If you not go by the name, what you want to follow?
No, yeah, then if they want to stay here and be and then that's other business. But you won't be 75-year-old in Liberia and be moving, going to your family in the morning, enjoying the organic and food and everything in Liberia.
The fresh air.
Now the time to go enjoy that, bro. You go in your eldest sister, say go back.
Yeah, but look at my intellect pass.
Don't be that Gayman won't be up to 75.
My intellect pass, and she passed at the age of 83. She was still strong, but that the people live longer because people eating real organic food. Now the process thing here, and the people can walk, go in their farm, they can do stuff in the yard. You go in the hammer, relax there. So it's serious. We'll be having.
But
yeah, we need a new political dispensation in Liberia.
What we need.
To your point, Chief. To your point, though, I mean that was the basis on which the ANC came about. I know that because I know my brother-in-law said what I said.
I don't know what an ANC can fill that void.
Well, I don't know about the ANC now, but I'm saying to you the point he's making.
To fill that
CMC,
void,
I don't know whether the CMC can fill that void.
To fill that void,
What is wrong with this man?
Go ahead, rest.
To fill that void, I come to you continue in us give it. To fill that void, we need to remove ego.
Yes,
and
yes.
Rather, we need to remove ego and get the system evolved and someone that is just to capture to fill that ball. It will not
exactly.
You see, all the things will come out. They need will come out at the end of the day. The ruling party will go back and win the election.
Yes, ego.
Absolutely.
So the appropriate forces will have to align. We remove the ego.
Agree with
now,
Sylvester.
one institution, we remove it. We will just go that line. That is no way. But
there's something.
One political party will come. You run around all the way you run around. At the end of the day, you will stay with the election.
I agree with Pewee. There's something we learn.
As they have fights,
all of you guys.
I agree with Sylvester. I mean, that was the business.
Let's do it one at a time.
There's
permanent land, so Victor can go.
There's something we all learn. I know all know about this is SWOT analysis, and that way we should identify that you see each person have their own strength, their weakness, the opportunities they have, and the threats to everything. So if you identify that particular element within a person, honestly, on a serious note, if we say there, I'll say, look, I think Gayman is a very good host, very good moderator of the whole show. We say, yeah, we gain the credit. You won't pretend say, well, I want no. What people are saying, that thing is very key, and that's the problem that affecting our body politics. Political, even you opposition alliance. Now they say let's come together, five parties together. The problem we're facing, they will tell you, say, oh, you should not crown one person. No, that crown person, no. Let it come to that consensus. Say, look, I believe Justin T.S. Seaton, I think we can put him forward. He'll be a most formidable and stronger candidate. Let's support him and we can win this. But I would say, let me end this, Mr. Gayman. If 2029, if the opposition said we'll have separate people on the ballot, I can tell you this clearly. If Boga runs, Boga will win, even with a wider margin. The opposition candidate must agree that we can have 5 of us on the ballot running for that same prize. No.
Supporters, what you just said, the sad part about it, they always want to be at the top of the ticket when they know that the national legislature is where most of the country's problem lies.
Exactly.
And they can go into the legislature and clean up that place so that that country can be put on a better footing. But they won't want to do it. And as you already stated, they will be fighting for the top position and Unity Party will come and sweep the election again.
Nagbe, let's go.
Thank you. Now, I was going to say what you were saying, right? Look, the most consequential coming together should have happened in 1985, right? After even some of the parties fell away, you had William Gayman of Loop, you have Theodore of Action Party, LAP, and then you have Ben Sanvee of Unity Party, right? They tried to establish the Grand Coalition. That did not even take. The infighting. In recent past, I was telling him this is the ANC. The ANC started with the Liberty Party of Bromskin, a bunch of technocrats coming together and saying, you know what? Regardless of who has a ticket, we'll bring our know-how to the table. That didn't work out with Liberty Party. They transformed that into the ANC. The ANC should have been that. But again, the point that Sylvester is making, we Liberians, we have never learned to leave our egos on the table. And until we do that, I don't care what kind of metamorphosis we go through, the major change that we need is a change in our ego. We are not equally equal. We are not. There are first and more equals. We have to recognize that. We may be best of friends, but you may be more qualified than I am in a particular area. I have to be able to concede that and say, you know what? I am an engineer, but I'm not a good manager. Maybe Sylvester is. I will let him and I will give him my advice as an engineer. We haven't brought ourselves to decide on how to do that. finally, to the point that Sylvester is making, this whole testing in the region, that's something we really need to take seriously. You have the whole West African region opening up now. You know, the West African passport now, we can go all over the region anywhere. And if we're not careful, the other 15 countries in the region, they will eat our lunch. Because our schools are failing while the region is excelling. Everywhere you go, people are seriously moving and building and learning and educating. In Liberia, we're there, you know, our government is busy, you know, taking a whole town to every meeting that happens, and we're spending the money on things we don't need to spend the money on, and our institutions are crumbling. And the effect is being felt today, and it will continue to happen until we reorder our priorities. And that's why I wanted to bring to put on the
and let me comment on this education issue, because you know, as a teacher and a college instructor, it's saddening to see the mass failure of students in Liberia. It tells us fundamentally that the education system in our country is broken. There is a need for some serious fundamental change in how we educate our younger generation. The country is failing the young people, and there seems to be nothing that is being done to address this situation. Example, how we have a country where students take national exam and 1.56% of the population pass the test, and then you come to the University of Liberia, 24%. It is a shame. But there is something fundamentally wrong, and we have refused and we have failed to address that. Number one, we're talking about resources. Teachers in the country don't have resources. Teachers are properly not trained. They are under trained. Teachers are not being properly paid. There is not incentive to improve students' outcome. There is no intervention to track students if they are failing from the bottom, so that by the time they get to high school, they can put them on par. I don't know whether teachers are being evaluated. I don't know whether teachers who goes into the classroom have the proper credentials. Until we can address all of these issues, the problem will always exist. It will always exist. I give you an example. In America, we can track students from the time they enter school to the time they get to high school. The only time we know that students fail a national exam when they take the WAEC. But from kindergarten all the way to 12, how do we know that these students are making progress? How do we know? There is no system in place to determine whether the students are making progress until when they take the national exam. When they fail, then we say, oh, then we say everybody failed. No, that's not how it's supposed to be. You should have a system in place. For example, if a student is in the 5th grade, he takes an assessment. If that student is not performing math and English at 5th grade level, you provide intervention so that by the time the student gets into the 6th grade, the student will be able to be performing at what? 6th grade level. Because we don't have the money, so then we can institute another test when that student gets into the 8th grade. Because when a student gets into the 8th grade, he takes our assessment. If that student is not performing at an 8th grade level, we provide intervention to make sure that student, by the time they get to the 9th grade, they are performing at 9th grade level. Then we get to senior high school. At the senior level, you don't give the national exam in 12th grade. 12th grade, the student is already out. What intervention is in place to address that student before they get out of high school? So the national exam is supposed to be administered in the 11th grade, so that when students are not performing at 11th grade level, you provide intervention so that by the time they get to the 12th grade, they will start being proficient in math and reading at the 12th grade level. Then when they get to get out of high school. You understand that? And I think the national exam should be the yardstick for students to get to the University of Liberia, because we are broadening the family. You take national exam, you pay money at 12th grade, then you pay another money to take LU test. There is no system in place. The country needs to rethink how we teach our children. We are failing them.
Yeah, the
And
context.
it's sad.
There have to be a national conversation. And even here, they make you to track your child progress.
To track, that's a
We have
track.
Suology.
From pre-K,
There's no tracking in place. When the student fail, there was all the student fail. But what is the process you put in place to make sure that student don't fail? We are failing the students.
Talking about education, this is the William R. Talbot Junior Baptist University just opened. The William R. Talbot, this is Tomalin, George, this is our man right here. The William R. Talbot Junior Baptist University.
That's a great intellectual.
Yes, it says here the William R. Talbot Baptist University has opened its door for the academic year 25-26, positioning itself as a game changer in Liberia higher education. The school, which currently is in progress, will close this month and resume in October, academic year 2025-26. Established in 2022, William R. Talbot aims to bridge the gap between academic learning and national development need, offering programs designed to equip students with technical, practical, and character-driven education. The Baptist University currently hosts 3 colleges: the College of Business, Management, and Professional Studies, the College of Agriculture and Forestry, and the College of Mathematics, Science, and Technology, with plans to expand later on. We are talking about a top-notch STEM university being offered by the World Baptist Alliance and the Baptist University Baptist in Liberia. I know you are from the United Methodist, but this is a huge undertaking by the Baptists, a major university.
So that's
question.
The school is being sponsored by the Liberian Baptist Educational
and
Convention.
the World Baptist Alliance. Yes.
Okay, now I have a question.
I want people to just use a name of somebody and just because they want. The guys, like I traveled through the interior one time. I saw a school that said Ronald Reagan High School. I mean, Ronald Reagan. And on a serious note, they know very well they have no connection to Ronald Reagan. Why are you using the man name? I think if that was his foundation or sponsoring that school, understand. So, but I'm happy that the Baptists, the Baptists are when it comes to education. Oh, look, one of the advantage, one of the differences between the charismatic churches like the Baptists, the Methodists, the Episcopalian, the Catholic, that they are being involved in school and health in our country for many years, and they have done a whole lot. They have put up a very good product that comes from the walls. Like I was in Maryland the weekend. Cottonelle had the annual, the union had a stop there. I saw a lot of folks were there, and it raised thousands of dollars for that event. I didn't attend it. But what I mean, I noticed the president legal advisor for the president, he was there. Okay, I met later on at the high table, but he was all there. And the thing is that I give credit to these churches, these religious institutions. They have put a lot for the people, so that's a good thing. It's welcoming, and the Baptists, I'm sure, will be one of the best. Because the Baptists, they have done a whole lot. The Baptists, what they do when it comes to schooling. The Methodists, we got seed every year. The Baptists got Ricks. The Catholic got They got there's in Cathedral and other places there. So they all come out the best.
And the Methodists got UMU.
UMU again, yeah. You see.
Yeah. And the Catholic got Stella Marie. But
they got Stella Marie and
my brother and friend is the president of the new university. Dr. Samuel Reeves is the president of the new university. So it's legit.
Wait.
They see
Samuel Reeves with the controversial librarian and the church's president, the council president.
Listen, the man
who is the pastor of the
Providence Baptist Church.
Providence Baptist Church, and he used to have the Grand Baptist Community College. Is that correct?
Yes.
But he got a portfolio. You see,
man.
There's one man. That's the reason. This clergyman got more than 5 positions. Basel Community College, Providence Baptist Church, the Tomalin University. The what again?
He's on the board of the Waga put him on the board of I think is
how effective can he be?
Eh?
How effective can he be?
It's a man of God. God can do anything.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
No, I'll be honest.
Wow.
I know Sam Rich very well. He was my classmate at William V. Stoughton High School. I know it's been a while, but he's a smart kid. But I think that's way too much responsibility for one person. I would say that to Sam if I was sitting in front of him. He needs to divest himself of some of those portfolios. He's not the only qualified person.
Exactly.
He needs to call somebody else to take over some of those portfolios because he's not doing justice to it. It's not possible for any one person to serve in so many capacity and be efficient. I think that's wrong. He needs to face up to himself.
But that's corruption. That's corruption there. Because
especially in those capacities that are very demanding.
Having said that, I think it's a welcome development. I mean, I'm a product of one of those religious institutions. The Episcopal Church does a wonderful job, and I'm sorry, Chief. You know, I missed the reunion. I know it was held in Maryland. Yeah. And it's a fun time when we gather and we do raise a lot of money. And thanks to my fellow Scorpions for gathering over the weekend. But those schools, they do a lot of good. And if this new university will be in the same league as, say, Cuttington, I think it's a good thing. Again, we were talking about choice when we started talking about the new law school. Exactly. When people have more choices, it drives efficiency. This is competition in the field. People will gravitate you because you are doing well. And so I welcome that university. I just hope it will not fall victim to Dr. Wonkoyo's, sword or knife, at the higher education, at the ministry. We all know recently, most of the institutions, he had to shut them down. But congratulations to the Baptist Church. I just think Dr. Reeves should give it up. He should give that to somebody else, and it's just too much for here. But congratulations to the Baptist Church.
I'm also told that the president is about to appoint religious advisor to the president again.
There you go.
Yeah, I think the Baptist Church, has been in the forefront of educating Liberians for more than 100 years.
Baptist Church alone.
And I think
it's a huge tax.
And
pastor of that huge church.
But listen, the president called him and said, "I want you to serve on the LTA board." Yeah, he serves on that board. Then the president called him to go and be president of Grand Bassa University, and he's over there. And then he's coming to be he's a pastor of President Baptist Church, and now he's president of the university. He's doing a great job. One man. So listen, it's possible to run to Buchanan, put a fire there, come back, put a fire.
It is not possible. He's running himself team. He will not be efficient. He will not be efficient. But again, kudos to the Baptist Church. The Baptist Church.
Why should the president appoint him to all these positions?
They are all qualified Liberians.
We all do, and yes, I would say to you, we all do respect this man of God. He's a revealed man of God. Let me emphasize that he's a revealed man of God, very revealed. But here's what I would say: sometimes leaders of our country will engage these revealed men of God. So what do you think? You don't think? I was thinking about making somebody to. He said, "No, the president must handle that one."
No, but Pewee,
we remember Dick Cheney, right?
Dick Cheney was tapped to.
They made the chair of the committee to look for a vice president.
The president, I can do that job.
Yeah. They gave him 10 names. He was he put himself number 11, and he won the position.
Yeah, and here's what he's going to do that. But here's what's going to happen. Here's what I'm hearing. He's not trying to recruit somebody to the Bassa University, right? But here's what he's saying to the president. I can you. They're going to be on you. They're going to be on you.
Yeah, man. Where you getting the other one?
I'm telling you.
Man. If that news is true, then it is wrong.
You just going to carry the name, but you take instruction from me.
No, but one thing happened for there are a lot of Liberians that are They are getting PhDs and doing well. So at the end of the day, most of them will end up. We hope they can help to teach in universities and so forth. It'll help a lot.
But he's a good man. Reverend Dr. Reeves is a very good man. And he been pastor for the Providence Baptist Church for a protracted period of time. Yeah, protracted period of time. On a serious note, so and I would think that he was transitioning from there, turn that over to one of those, because I want to believe under his stewardship as the pastor and head of the church, there's a lot of other folks been learning on assistant pastor, deacon, deaconesses, and other things. They've been trained to take over the matter of authority of the church, right? Both from the spiritual realm and that from the administrative aspect also. I tell you, sometimes, as Mr. Nagbe rightly said, you have to divest yourself from some of these things and give out of the responsibility to perform. Then you can take over a growing issue that will come out. Probably people like that can come out to be a very good minister of education and all the rest of that, right? If you were to say you want to remove, but you cannot simultaneously hold all of these positions. It's like the greedy hunter. Have you seen that in that greedy hunter position which you have? He got all the animal, the elephant, this and that thing, but he was still trying to go for the cockroach.
That's right.
Is that a cockroach? You got something like the grasshopper. He was still trying all the things again. He won't go for the grasshopper. Come on, you got a deer, you got an elephant, you got a this. Then the grasshopper is hopping down there. He's struggling to go and get it up. That's the scenario I'm trying to draw here. But no, one man, you cannot be effective on the serious of Mr. Man of God. You cannot be effective if you hold those rules. I mean, it's not possible. And you should be teaching through the gospel, right thing to happen. You have to speak against corruption. I have listened to him condemn government officials a lot of times. Those times I listened to him do it, and I admire his tone. He's a very smart man of God, as I said, a revealed man of God. So, but it's time that while you stay active and respected.
Let me just chime in. Let me just chime.
Before Mr. Seaton comes in, if these people are in, they are speaking to God. They got line to God, right? Why God don't speak to them? These people got direct line to God, right? And God tell them to tell people that Pewee said, don't drink, don't do that. God tell them, why can't God don't tell them, listen, man, the other load too heavy for you, give it all up. Why God don't talk to them when it comes to their own issue?
No, but sometimes, yes, what I would say to you. It may sound a little comical moving forward, but yes, what I would say quickly. God do directly communicate. Say, but you say, Papa, and so now this will be you. This is now this will be you, right? And that's one of the reasons. The gospel is so unique, and that's what the Bible is. It said it would take a spiritual realm to push us to understand the word of God. Mm-hmm. And if you listen to most of the men of God that try to propagate the goodness of God, themselves often at times, you see they go contrary to the very word they teach. And that's why it is upon us to not be equally pushed to see what they do and we should sometimes just listen to them and try to do the best we can, right? Because the Bible will say the act of violent arrogance does not fit in the righteousness of God.
Always tell you do what I say, but don't do what I do.
Those acts of sinning of right, so it does not fit in the righteousness of God. So what we have to do is to be mindful and walk in that line, understand it. But here's what I will say to you: this man of God, before we criticize other government officials of malfeasance and misfeasance, but to hold on 3 jobs at the same time, that is it's misfeasance. That is tantamount to misfeasance. On a serious note, how do you function? How do you want? It's not possible. But again, it's a difficult thing for people to criticize the church because they believe it's a taboo to attempt to do that. But the church should be the bastion for the means, or is the macrocosm of the larger society to shine, to be taught of everything. As we say the university is no, I think the church is. Of course, the University of Liberia is also, or the tertiary sector is. But the church is from the base of the church. And that's the reason why when they say, the church say, hey, man. And you see things will happen.
Preach.
Yeah, you see, particularly the Baptists. right? You know, one of the guys I ever enjoyed preaching before the school. I'm not from the Episcopal Church, but I graduated from the Episcopal sponsored school, right? But if you were to go through that young man preach that time when Charles was there, Reverend Macaulay, when he said, "You came a man, you came a bar," Reverend Macaulay, when he did, I don't know where he is now. What part of the world I know? I'm there. He's in the U.S. now, but that guy did something and Tito was not happy with him, but he read a fire, right? But if you teach you that way yourself, then like quickly, I would say this: Reverend Francis, the late Marco Pacra Francis Bishop, rather, was hitting Taylor very hard. One of the time Taylor to that goes on there saying, "Say, so they criticizing on the behind the young body and Ryan."
The gate.
Taylor fire back.
No, but you know,
nobody knew Taylor was talking to Jew, but
they have come on and attack a lot.
Yeah, but let me just make a.
Bishop Kula, remember when they were degree 88A?
Yeah, Dopoh doing the same thing too.
So Dopoh say, do want to the mansion and the press conference. Dopoh say, y'all keep on just when y'all get ready, y'all go on your pulpit. Y'all be attacking
politics.
Y'all say the Holy Spirit lead up, but the Holy Spirit lead one that will be up from behind your pulpit. Those that will tell right there, I'll be in the church too. Holy Spirit lead me out right there and go be you from the behind the pulpit. You know?
Yeah, he said when you're on the pulpit, don't preach politics.
Yeah, but there's no way you can separate the church.
But the church will have to preach politics.
Because the church is the moral conscience of the society.
Yeah, but there's a separation of church and state.
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be.
But let me ask this. Let me ask this.
Things happen in the churches than in the larger society.
Let me ask this.
Nagbe,
Yeah.
can the Holy Spirit lead anyone?
But let me get.
Can the Holy Spirit lead anyone?
The Holy Spirit leads through God's representatives on earth. So that's some of the people we're talking about now.
That's why Doe was saying the Spirit can lead me too. I can hope you.
Exactly. I know Jackson wants to come in, but let me just put it on the table since I had the floor. The Independence Day orator called out the church. You understand? What exactly is this council of churches doing for our people? I mean, they collect so much money. Where they are supposed to be organizing small business opportunities for their members. What do? They
get appointed.
That's an open question. But let me just comment on the Baptist University. The Baptist Church has been educating Liberians for more than 100 years. They have the Liberia Baptist Theological and Education Seminary. Mark, I just hope that the seminary will eventually become part of the Baptist University. But I'm also hoping that the university will not fall prey to some of the issue that is confronting other higher institutions of learning in Liberia. For example, resources. 2, lack of trained educators to train those young people. And you understand? The university has to transcend that. If you hire professors, you have to train them. You have to make sure that these professors are highly qualified and competent to teach the various disciplines that they are teaching. You understand? Because here's the thing, why it is true that this promote competition, but it shouldn't be the other way around, where we have a proliferation of higher institutions that are offering nothing of significance to students in the Republic of Liberia. I think they need to be streamlined, and Dr. Wonko is doing a better job to make sure that all of these quasi institutions that are popping up overnight saying that they are providing higher education to Liberians, they should be well streamlined to ensure that they are providing the best curriculum so that these children will meet the challenges of the 21st century. And I just hope that the Baptist University will be able to go in line with this concept, because you can just establish an institution and then you don't have the trained manpower, you don't have the resources to be able to maintain those institutions. And lastly, Dr. Reeve, he's a good man, but I think he's being overstretched. He needs to divest himself. He needs to divest himself from some of these positions that he's occupying so that he can be efficient. Maybe at the Providence Baptist Church and the New Baptist University, but to be president of Grand Bassa County Community College. What time you move from Grand Bassa to Canton Morovia, then you come to then you go to the Baptist university, and then you go and serve on a member of a board of an institution. I mean, you're stretching yourself too much. He has to be focused. There are other qualified Liberians, and I just hope that he will see reason.
Like Jerome, Jerome can head the Basel Community College.
Jerome is
Listen. Don't put me against my brother.
I will put you in a situation you can handle it.
But listen, he did a great job. I think last month he was here. They signed a collaboration partnership with Princeton University Theological Seminary. And a lot of the theologian and retired professor from Princeton went to their grand opening, and they would be helping out. So they're actually doing a better job than the guys on the ground. I know Stella Herring, Miata Stella, she's part of that recruitment, and they're doing all of that here. So I think with the Baptist background, they have a very solid background, and in the diaspora to actually pull it off. So
the Southern Baptist Convention,
very big, very, very big. But let's go to this real quick. This one, this is this thing they call SEAL. It is Southeastern Alliance. Their press statement that was released a few days ago, and they said 2 days ago, SEAL called for the burial of Honorable Sylvester Pewee on Liberia soil, commands President Boakar's strategic leadership on TCAP 9. The Southeast Alliance of Liberia SEAL extends its heartfelt condolences to the family of our eminent statesman, the late Sylvester Pewee, former Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, who departed this life while undergoing treatment in the United States. SEAL, however, respectfully differs with the decision of Madam Pewee, widow of our fallen statesman, to have her husband laid to rest in the United States. Honorable Pewee was more than a public servant. He was a son of the soil of Sapo land, whose roots trace directly to the Wobadi and Pewee farm, Sano County. He was a proud traditional Sapo man whose family heritage and cultural obligation demand that he be buried and laid to rest among his people. Throughout his illustrious career, Honorable Pewee devoted his entire professional life to public service. Among the many positions he held include Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Honorable President Joseph Boakai, Secretary of the Cabinet, Honorable President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Deputy Minister for Administration, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and it goes on and on. But this is a very long plea to the wife of Mr. Grisby, Mrs. Grisby.
So, Gayman, can I just close on this because it's kind of late for my end?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know what's that group name again,
SEAL.
I don't. This is, I see this as an attempt to hustle. This is.
But I'm told it's a daughter of the ANC.
You push me again. Don't say I'm not a pussy again. I'm not doing that. I'm not a pussy. You're not gonna be.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we don't know them, but you can't do this. The wife of the minister decided to bury him in the U.S. and you call yourself, I don't know, Civil Rights Group, you come into issue statement.
No, Southeastern Alliance. They call it SEAL.
Yeah. This is a Civil Rights.
A Civil Rights Group, But I don't. For me, maybe other people can comment on it. But I see it as a hustle tactic, because when it obviously take the burial, there's someone that will get some money, cake out, have some peace celebration out of that. And that is why they are pleading, what were they when Sylvester was being attacked by the United Party folks throughout? They ever came up and stand with him? No. Today the man passed out there, you see he pleading to the man's wife. So for me, I don't want to waste, but I think it was a good show, Mr. Gayman. Again, when I came on the show,
Mr. Seleke, let me push back on this a little bit. In South Africa, the former president died in South Africa, in the Republic of South Africa. Mm-hmm. And the wife did not want for him to be buried. They wanted to do a family. And the Republic of Zambia sued And the Supreme Court of both countries, South Africa, agreed that the man was a statesman. And his authority to be buried in his homeland and be given a state right was a constitutional issue, and it override the family. So what's the difference here?
I mean, you're right. I'm not. I mean, it's not. I mean, even though our constitution does not support that, but I support C position. Honestly, look, I don't know. You shouldn't play politics with this. This man and his wife has the final saying. I agree. We respect her about that. But you can also say that, look, Madam, we have also, Madam, look, this man was an honorable statesman. He spent the entire of service in career, helped serving Liberian people in the government of the people of Liberia. So giving a befitting state burial where his body can be put in one of the national places there is good. I mean, it's good. But if she insists that he shouldn't take his body to Liberia, it's all right. But I support the position of the people. I don't think they're hustling. They're just been trying to be to show to be some.
The thing is, the man was alive. The man was being attacked. It was one of the most.
Hey, man, that's not the point. No, that's the point. So how come the two Supreme Courts in the different countries agree that a man is a statesman and he deserves to be buried by the state? The Supreme Court ruled
in South Africa, and now we're talking about Liberia, right?
But it's the same scenario.
Do we have any past case as such that you're narrating regarding to South Africa where a second part that we like
the president? No,
we have any of that in the country?
The man enjoyed the confidence of his boss, President Boyle, up to his death. It's all about the constitution. Liberia is very clear. You will serve at the word and pleasure of the president. So as long as he enjoyed the confidence and pleasure of President Boyka, he was fine. They never told me one time they had a whole program here on Spoon. They attacked him. He said, my son, look, and one of the guys think say, Boyka will just listen to them and fire me. He said, look, Boyka, I come a long way. He said, election, Boyka knew I was coming because I believe coming with the best candidate to be president of Liberia. So I worked with Cummings during the election. Okay, but when Cummings did not win, Boyka came into me and said, Greg, come in, Greg, look, I need you. You know, foreign affairs or presidential affairs. He said, look, I've been in the foreign service for so long, I will help you in the mansion. He said, look, no amount of attack can will maybe President Boyka get rid of me. No, I enjoy his confidence, and I want President Boyka show. Even the statement Boyka wrote when he died, it tells you so. All that attack was just for nothing. They couldn't remove King and Grimsey until Grimsey decided to leave. Want to leave? So all that attack was for nothing. And some of that politics now, they feel that the man will come through the election. How can Boyka take in a position and he won't get? But all politics. But I don't know. He enjoyed the confidence of the president. That what matter.
But why would his burial be politicized?
No, because he's a politician.
Yeah, we know he's a politician, but equally so, he's a family man. I think whatever happens should be done in collaboration with the family.
The man is a statesman first.
We understand that.
I support his wife. I support his wife, but I'm going to appeal to her. But if I making advice or making an appeal, I prefer me burying Liberia. For me, I want to say.
Why it is true that he's a statement? Let me just say something. Why it is true that he's a statement?
Citron coming to EP, we go ahead.
Yeah, quickly. Yes, what we gathering from the grapevine. The web reason is that, and we haven't been to Liberia for more than 30 years now. So that's one of the things we ever get. That's a say and all of things. But that's a report we did. All his children here, part of the reading. His wife's here in Texas. Children here. So their point is that they want their father to be close to them. And that's one of the reasons why she's given. But again, on the flip side of that, there's no debate to this issue that a group will be somewhere called and say they disagree with women. Why you disagree? The family already said it. But that was a high-profile position. So the only thing the government can do now is to liaise. That's what the government is working on already. To liaise with the family and come and read out the official gazette and took the casket, right? And where in the flare and seal of the Republic of Liberia will be held on the only thing we would do, because the president is going to instruct in the official gazette that will be read. The president is going to instruct that the flag of the Republic be flown be hosted at half mast from 6 a.m. post meridian to 6 p.m.
The diplomacy,
and
the
also,
the thing. The
so that would be the case that
His Excellency Ambassador Sylvester Pewee.
Yeah, and then when that is done, then they will issue all those things and move. But my point there now is, would they host the flag to the funeral? I don't think so. That will be now done to our embassy and all of our consulate we have in the United States, because it's another country. We can do that in the country that day, and then also do same to those areas. So that's the only thing the government can do.
I'm surprised the president said I'm surprised he attended the funeral. Saying
I'm hearing yet myself. I'm very convinced that the president may attend the funeral service, but I'm also hearing that, and that is not confirmed, that the vice president will lead the dedication of the Liberian government to come.
But again, let me just there's a clarification people asked me to make, right? President Bwaga he's not returning from Japan. There was a miscommunication to the people up there. He will be attending the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD. It will be held in Yokohama from tomorrow. It starts tomorrow to the 22nd. Now, this is why you notice most of the African leaders are now dropping into Japan. Some are arriving today, and they arrived today. The only reason maybe the poor contemporary Bwaga went early, but he will not be attending the expo. He didn't go for expo. The president not going to the expo. Judy ended up working on that stuff to do that stuff, but he will be only attending the 9th International Conference on African Development, TICAD, from tomorrow to the 22nd. He will be attending that particular meeting, what he went for. And so, and I will tell people it's important that the presidents always attend that particular meeting. And President, we attended all of these meetings when he was president. And I think Banasarif did the same thing too. So it's important that the president be present at these meetings. The issue about delegation is another story, but he should be at that meeting. And he will not, somebody wrote today and said that because he declined, he's not attending the expo, so he coming back to Liberia. No, that's not true. He's not coming back to Liberia because he just not attending the expo and festival.
The main event is the TICAD, right?
Yeah, listen to this. This is what we keep saying. Listen, information dissemination and coordination is very important. If the executive mansion say they are going to expand an expo, we cannot divine any thought, right? Pewee, if the executive mansion put up their press statement, the press statement say they are going to an expo, that's what we go with. So now that they're making the correction, it is not on us, it's on them because they sent out a press release.
But and that's what I was saying yesterday, that I thought before now, I don't know if the Ministry of Foreign Affairs even put a very strong release out to offline the importance of this summit, Japanese African meetings. It's very critical, and Japan, if you will, is one of the richest countries on that.
Who doing your job at Ministry right now? Who in that position now?
I want a female called Siwaba.
No, I think they should fire her. She's not doing a good job. I'll be honest with you. She's not doing a good job. She's not doing a good job at all. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, she's not doing a good job. She's messing things up there. The way the communication thing is all messed up. Even the reason why they even blasted Bwaga for this delegation, because they don't handle it the right way. Because on a serious note, the delegation should be 14 if you are being 16%. But what they did, they combine all together, make it a little big. But
at that, you can't hold responsible for that. When the president went, you can't hold responsible for that. When the president I know that from the perspective of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you have to be proactive and give the rundowns on things as to what, because you are there to propagate the vision and the operational activities, everything of the foreign minister and the foreign ministry engagements. But the way they went about this whole thing, and I agree with what you said, is that the Minister of Information, I believe, is also on the stream, or top government officials. I mean, the government should have organized this in a very, very spectacular way in terms of enhancing a major information dissemination issue. But yeah, there's this problem. And one of the part of the information I'm gathering is that the minister and the Assistant Minister of Public Affairs, they are not really coming along. And if there's a public platform, we're going to discuss that. It's not coming along well. I don't even know if she's on this trip, right? Many a times she's disgruntled, or not even not disgruntled, but disillusioned that the minister will take other people to trial of her. So that's the information we're receiving, right? I was getting a message the last time that this is the problem. That sometimes she even went to the minister.
She can't jail if you're the public affairs assistant minister of foreign affairs.
Yeah,
you're not cool the minister. I don't think you'll be comfortable in that ministry.
Yeah, you're not functioning. On a serious note, you can't. The ability to function will be difficult. So that's the problem. So I think there's a need for us to re-engage it and engage our boss. The minister is always the minister, and that's the thing of the cabinet, if you will. So to have these things, good working relationship or better cooperation or coordination is something, because and the difficult part of that now is that you, the assistant minister, report directly to the office of the minister. You don't have no deputy minister to report to. You report directly. The assistant minister for public affairs don't report to any of the other deputy ministers, unlike the deputy minister of assistant minister of foreign affairs report to the deputy minister of foreign affairs. The assistant minister of international cooperation report to the deputy minister of international cooperation. The assistant minister for Afro-Asian affairs will report to the deputy minister of foreign affairs. The assistant minister for international organization report to the deputy minister of international cooperations and the rest of that. So the assistant minister of legal reports to the deputy minister of legal. So, but the assistant minister of public affairs, you're alone. So you report directly to the office of the minister of foreign affairs. So you have to have a very good working relationship with the minister of foreign affairs so that you be effective, efficient, and very much up to the task to perform the job. It's a very powerful job. It's good. It's sweet. You always, if you good rapport with the minister, as the French member say, ton pied mon pied, right? So you always with the ego, the roadie ego. You know, the foreign minister is the ego, but the foreign minister flies around the world and other things. So there's a need to really do that and perform and execute your tasks accordingly. But there's this problem that we see unfolding in there, and that's why you're right. The dissemination process was very poor. It was not the export. They should have emphasized the GCAP process because it's the Japanese African economic, one of the biggest forums the world we have. Currently, even we have the Japanese counterpart fund we have in Morocco.
Look at it do. Yeah. Look at do. Wait, Reggie. Look, Reggie.
Who?
Look what Reggie.
What is it?
Look at Gongloe. He said, bingo, Tomalin, the whole joint clarification of Mika's statement confirms my point. To the extent that he gets authoritative information from Mika, says it that all the option for
2029 is working hard. Tell option. Tomalin George right when the tell option so they tell option it like an arbitrage around your neck. They want to know where is your third option you keep talking about. But Gongloe, the man said we should wait for 2026. He will tell us who his man is. So the man got a few more months. This is August, right? We got September, October, November. Oh, he got 4 more months. Honorable Pewee, in 4 months, this man got to tell us who his third option is. So we're waiting. But guys, it's been a great show. Tomorrow we will look at there's some big news.
When the guy appearing tomorrow? When the guy appearing now?
Tomorrow is our first guest is going to be Honorable Moluba, Hector Moluba, the president of the Rural Radio Organization of Liberia. He had over 400 radio stations that he commanded all over the country.
Wow.
Most of the major, and I have to say this to the CDC, when I introduced them to this guy, I say, you really want to have control of the nation. This is where you need to, if you want your message to get out there, you got to preempt. You got to be in the corners. And I won't be surprised with the deal.
Wait for Ahmed to pop up right here, right in about
4 seconds. You cut me off. I won't be surprised that with the name Moluba, that the Unity Party people took advantage of that and took our game plan and implemented it to the T.
But I think on Thursday we'll have Del Francis. You talk about the harmonization. That you come and
good.
And you will challenge. You'll be challenging the UP folks and all of those who criticize harmonization. He'll be here on Thursday to make the case about the defend harmonization, because since 12 and challenge the UP government, say he challenged them to reverse harmonization. They have not done it anyway. And they ran on harmonization and they won election, but now they haven't been able to and what I heard today too, we should tighten our belts. There are more tough days ahead. Economic, the time will be harder, it's getting harder. So tough days ahead. And also I think on Friday, there's an issue between the MPA boss and a Chinese person. Somebody will be here on Friday to come and give the whole narrative of that whole stuff about the MPA boss, what he did to that guy, the Chinese guy. And so I hope the MPA guy, will reach out to them. They can send somebody to counter the guy. We'll have the platform for Friday. So hopefully the guy will come and explain the whole thing, what's happening with the MPA guys and MPA boss and the Chinese men. So we look forward to having them. But anybody have Mr. Sito or Mr. Nagbe or Pewee, anybody you have guests, you can always bring the guests forward. The platform is open to everybody. Bring our guests to come and engage,
Exactly. Exactly. So that we can.
We didn't discuss this, but we'll discuss it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It says the Liberia economy deeply hit by aid cuts.
Yeah.
Of job loss and business see huge drop in income. And it says Liberia economy is badly hit by the aid cut. Over 600, at least 600 well-paying jobs will be disappearing. The economist said many more drivers, security, housekeepers, everybody will be hit. Those that were working with the different embassies and all of that, they all will be gone. Many small businesses will see major, drastic income reduction.
Top days ahead.
It's a major one. We'll cover it tomorrow. And then also,
I hope Kehleboe will be on tomorrow, because when we were sounding the warning, he was one of those who was saying we were crying wolf and there was no there. So I hope he will be here tomorrow.
Kehleboe is all talk. He's all talk. Your was the time. He's all talk. He's all talk. Yeah. The only word I got vocabulary is Jeremiah Kun. Once you talk Kun, then there's all to it. Yeah. To the extent where one time the VP watching the show, the VP said, they got to come on. He said, they got to come on. I think every show the guy appear my name coming the guy. He said, they got to come on. 10 times today. I was checking it. He mentioned my name 10 times today. I said, wow. To the extent. So, yeah. I know
that the man Nima brother, don't worry, they will come together.
Yeah, Nima brother, you're right. Maybe there's some few there because his sister ran twice to be senator of Nima County and she was defeated.
Oh yeah,
anybody come here and start you attempt to defend Kuya. Kehleboe jump on the platform straight. So remember us more, we can be quiet because he won't be objective set. Yeah,
guys. So tomorrow, guys, let's meet tomorrow. Have a great time.
Yeah.
And drive safe. If you're driving, drive safe. If not, let's see this. Honorable Pewee, thank you very much. Let's do this tomorrow.
Good night, everybody.
Look for the signal. Look for the signal.
Yeah, the signal ain't right. I saw the signal
from Canada.
Yeah, from Canada.
You in the club too? You want the club on there too?
1 hour flight, 10 to 14-hour drive.
It's all right, no problem.
Gee, what was the question?
I said you want the club too at night? I'll see you in the club.
Yeah.
You want to club?
Don't answer that question.
Where you want the club at?
In Canada.
Oh, you went to the club?
We did. We did.
It's a social party.
After Saturday, no. Look, Sylvester.
Don't mind.
Don't respond.
Anyway, no, the local guys, they insisted they wanted to go.
But who got that information?
I saw you on
Timon, a serial mail. Don't.
So yes,
if you blend the political and mobilization with some social some
Correct.
level element of social thing.
You gotta wind down, you know, after you work hard all day.
Correct.
But Timothy, please get me Kwame Clement's numbers. I'll give it to us. I forgot it. We need to call him. Okay, thank you guys.
All right, guys.
Good night.
Good night.